What's going on, everybody? We couldn't go 2 weeks without talking about the bullcrap, so we are back to our regularly scheduled programming. As you see, I found one of his little posts that he just did with the Holy Spirit Activate. We do have Jez7780 in the house from the Gaming Grindhouse, an actual scheduled show up night. It's rare that we can do that. So usually we only get him for the last like 20, 30 minutes of the show, but now we get him for the entire time. It's pretty cool. He's going to be on tonight, and of course, as always, Will777JP is here. A link to his YouTube channel is in the description below. RPG88 starting us off with the 5 gifted members. Man, I really do appreciate it. I thank y'all so much. And you hit some people who are here literally all the time. So I know they appreciate it, and thank y'all. Also, to those of y'all who keep picking up and renewing your memberships once you get a gifted, I really do appreciate that as well. But yeah. Oh, and Mark Carter at the beginning of the show, before we even went live, signed up and became a sleeve monkey. So we thank you for that. But yeah, Will's link is in the description below. You can check it out. You can do all that. I had a really cool description written, and like I had everything typed up inside Streamlabs, and apparently none of the stuff that I had typed saved. So now y'all just got the welcome to the playground, and that was it. Because I had an awesome intro, even had a little Easter egg in there for those who read the whole thing. Nick, we're going to discuss that a bit once we get into the games that we've been playing. But tonight, we have a couple stories to talk about, a couple things going on in gaming. A couple of them are irrefutable fact evidence, and a couple of them have a little bit of rumor mill stuff thrown in there. And then we're also, I hope we get to the point where once we finish roasting Xbox and talking about Bungie and Sony, that we get to, and it's the games coming out this year. Really excited to talk about that. There won't be any Xbox titles on that list, but PlayStation is making sure that we're still getting good stuff to play throughout the year. So we're going to be talking about that. A couple games. One of them that the Discord put me on to. I saw about 30 seconds of a trailer, and I'm buying it. And so, yeah, really looking forward to getting into all that. But the big things tonight is Bungie's laying off a lot of employees, or did. And there's two ways to look at this. And one of the ways is one of them that we're going to talk about, and it's in one of the, whatever they're called, the headings. Sony are the saviors, question mark? And the reason why it's wrote like that is because there is this narrative, and I might be pushing it as well, that Sony came in and did the thing that a parent company should do. Like it, lump it, hate it, they did the thing that a parent company should do. You don't let people go. Anyways, never mind. Hang on. And then I just wrote Xbox is, because what the fuck is Xbox? Does Xbox know what they are? Does Microsoft know what Xbox is? Personally, I think they should sell it to Elon Musk. He can't do any worse with it. And so that's a reference to my post on X. Also, guys, we have a Discord. You can join the Discord. It is always active, literally. 24 hours a day, we have people in that Discord talking, having a great time, hanging out, talking about the games they're playing, broadening each other's horizons, and like opening our eyes to certain things. And so, yeah, really, really awesome time in there. We have a great community here. That community, holy crap, what did I miss? Stephen Leon gifted 10 members. Holy cow. Stephen, I truly appreciate that. You know how much that helps. We have some cool features coming to the Discord probably next month. I wanted to make sure that the gifting and the stuff like that was going to continue at relatively the same rate. And if we get to that this month, then I'm going to be signing up for the Nitro program on Discord and letting Warawana just kind of run rampant with whatever the heck he wants to do to the Discord. So, yeah, have a goal that I'm looking to hit. Not like, hey, let's hit the goal, blah blah blah, like nothing like that, but like just like an internal goal. And if I hit that, then which I've hit it every month so far, so I don't think that's going to stop. But if I hit that, I'm going to start putting some stuff back into the channel that is like a recurring subscription. So I'm going to be able to get back onto Canva, pay for that subscription, because that you can make a lot of emojis in there and all that other stuff. But anyways, enough of that. If you want to support the channel, hit the gifted. If you don't want to do a gifted, if you don't or sign up for a membership or what have you, please just hit the like button, like it, dislike it. Fun fact, any engagement is kind of okay because that means you were still here. And YouTube sees that you were still here, so that's cool. Also, share this out on socials. This is not the normal night for this, and so yeah, share it out and let's see if we can get to 50 tonight, and 50 people here, not 50 members. That's not what I meant. All right. With that being said, that was disastrous at the end. With that being said, we are not professionals. We are not journalists. I don't want to be a journalist. I want to be able to puff my chest out and be able to admit that I'm wrong. So I can't be a journalist. I want to have wild ass takes that sometimes make no damn sense because you know why? I'm not a journalist. We are not journalists at all. Period. End of story. And so when you come here, letting people know now, I am not a journalist. I read articles that we're going to actually go over tonight from people who claim to be journalists. And like we have a few of them. That's the same one twice. Whoops. We have a couple of them up here that we're going to be going over tonight. But these are the journalists. This is from Paul Tassi, a journalist-ish. This is from Sammy Barker. Don't know who the heck that is, but they're a journalist. They write for Push Square. I are not. I am just a dude with an opinion surrounded or with two other dudes that have opinions. And we also use logic here. That's a lot of the stuff we're going to be discussing with Xbox. Jez has called. I have called. Jez called it before I did because they've been screaming this shit for longer than I've even known these dudes. And all we do is apply logic to the facts that they give us, and we predict an outcome. And that's it. And so tonight, that's what we're going to be looking at. That's what we're going to be talking about when it comes to Xbox. And with that said, welcome to the playground. Guys, how the heck are y'all?
Yo, how you doing, man? You hear me?
I can hear you just fine. You are coming through good.
Yeah. I didn't know I was on mute. I forgot that you do your intro. I was listening to the show and I forgot I was even in the chat.
So, at the beginning of the show, I know you're not here for this, but at the beginning of the show, we talk about kind of what games we're playing and kind of what we've been spending our gaming time on. And so, that's the question to you. What games have you been playing, man?
Oh man. So yeah, I've been playing actually I'm playing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I'm finishing the island and I've been doing that. I beat Stellar Blade, which absolutely incredible game. I actually got up to the boss when I was listening. Well, I was on the last time I was on the show, and I finally beat the boss. It was really awesome. I love the different endings. I won't spoil any endings, but yeah, it was incredible. I really think it was a great game, Stellar Blade. And what else I've been playing? Shoosh, there's a list. NCAA football. And then off of PlayStation, I just picked up a bunch of the VR games they just had on sale. So I didn't try Synapse yet, but I'm excited about that. I was playing some Crossfire Sierra Squad from Smilegate. You know them, world-renowned Smilegate. Phil Spencer was in the crowd talking about Smilegate. Apparently, PSVR 2 got the better Crossfire than the one Xbox got. That was the last. Do you know a fun fact? Crossfire X was the last Xbox console-only exclusive from that they had. That was the last one that only came out just for Xbox and not Xbox PC. It was like one of the only ones, and it was like a
Really?
4. Yeah, that's the last one I can remember. That was an
Huh.
Xbox console. It was only on the console. It did not go to. It wasn't on PC. It was a console launch that they had in Game Pass. I think they did it put it in Game Pass. I think it was in Game. It was free. I don't know what the hell happened, but it was like one of their console exclusives.
Our producer
Didn't
Josh said you are correct.
That's it.
That
Circle gets the square. There we go. Circle. Yeah, it was the last one and the worst reviewed. But Crossfire Sierra Squad is pretty damn polished and is like an arcade VR arcade shooter, which it doesn't have all. It has all the guns, but it's not as like all the process you got to do to load them, and it's definitely more arcadey. Really cool. Call it cross between like an arcadey type of Call of Duty type thing, and it has campaign and stuff. So I've been playing that. And then outside of the PlayStation, I've been playing the what was it? Oh, and no, what else? I played Ghostbusters as well. That was another thing that came into one of the PlayStation, their PlayStation Plus subscription thing, and that
Uh-huh.
Ghostbusters game is pretty damn good. It's a pretty damn good game there. But yeah, they had a big sale, so I grabbed a couple of games because I haven't been buying a lot of them. And then I just was like, oh, there's a big sale on them, so let's go. I kind of jumped into the VR. I was like, okay, well, let me boot up some stuff and get my VR going on that one with that sale. So the sale I think just ended last night. And then what was else? And then I spoke about the Crossfire, not the Crossfire. I played the shit. What the hell was the other one? Oh, the multiplayer with the Concord. I played Concord or
Conquered.
Concord. Yeah, I played that. I played that a lot over their weekend. And then off of PlayStation, I've been playing that ton of retro games. I was playing Eternal Darkness on the GameCube. Yo, man, that was crazy. That was some crazy storytelling with that game. And I forgot how much of a puzzle game that was. In my mind, I remember it being more like action stuff, and it was just very. It was really a lot of puzzles and really a lot of Resident Evil vibes they took from it, and they just took it to the next level. But playing that because I had that retro console thing, so I've been playing a lot of just old school arcade games, some like classic. Games here and there that I just remember. I went back and I just was playing a bunch of TurboGrafx games, a bonk. I was playing Yeast. Man, Yeast, it was crazy back in the day, man, because that was my friend was like stuck on a level, and I went over his house and we were trying to figure it out. And once we figured it out, like the game opened up. And I don't know if this ever happened in your past, but like it happened to me once with Final Fantasy 3 for the Super Nintendo. I couldn't get past one of the boss battles in the beginning. And I just kind of just stopped playing it. And then my cousin came over and we beat that boss. And after that, I got hooked and played like the rest of that game. And it was just one of those things where I had a lot of games, so I just kind of just stopped playing one. I just wasn't feeling it. I'm like, oh, I can't beat this section. It was early in the beginning. It was like the first 15 half hour or something like that of the game. And I just quite put it down. And then he came over and we did that. And that was funny because it happened with Yeast the same way, where my friend wasn't playing it. He's like, yeah, I got this game. I'm up stuck here. And then we kind of figured it out. And then he was like, after that, he was like, oh, I keep playing that game. The game's incredible. I beat it. And it was just one of those things. So, yeah. Now we go on the internet and find out some tips or whatever like that. But back then, you had to kind of figure that out or have some skill to kind of
Skill.
get
That's
past
funny.
those games.
No,
Yeah.
Google's my friend now, bro. Like I don't
Yeah.
I don't spend more than 10 minutes on a puzzle. If it takes more than 10 minutes, I'm wasting precious gaming
Yeah.
time and I'll just Google it real quick and go, "Okay, cool,
I
that
know
makes
what you
sense."
mean. And I'll ask you, have you used any of that sort of like the user help that they've integrated in some of the games?
No, I have Google. Like,
Well, PlayStation integrated they have their help, right? But then they also had this community help. And I used it for some of the boss battles in Stellar Blade, kind of figure out the strategy because I kept dying when they did this massive this full kill. It was just the screen would go white and then I would always die. And I'm like, how the hell, like what am I doing wrong? And they actually had a community a video of somebody. So what they do is if you beat it, they will they will use it and then edit, and then they'll ask you if if it's good feedback. So if you remember that community update that they did, so
Huh.
like
I'll check it
yeah,
out.
so some games have it, and basically the system just learns sections of you beating something or a section, and it will record that and host it on your computer, on your PlayStation, upload it, and the community will be able to use that to kind of say figure that out. And I actually used it for Stellar Blade, and what was so funny is that in that boss fight, he used his WB, that revive thing, to kind of get past that, which was kind of like, well, I don't have one of those, and I have to go grind to get one of those because I don't have enough money. So that's not a strategy for me. But it was funny because like it was just a normal person playing. Like there was no kind of like expert gamer or anything like that. It was just like he just used that thing, and I'm like, yeah, well, I don't have that. But it was funny seeing that community thing being used that they added a few months ago. And I also got the beta. Shout out to Fabrizzle. Fabrizzle shot me the code for the beta, so I've been messing around with the PlayStation, the new beta, the new layout that they have like right underneath the games now on the main
It's
screen.
pretty sick.
Yeah, they tell you like how many people are playing. Like they're kind of giving you that kind of FOMO thing. Like not off to the side now. Now it's like right underneath it. But I'm gonna tell you something else. The audio thing that they did, the customizable 3D audio that you can do, it is slick as hell because you get into the menu and it basically gives you a globe around your head in a visual, and it plays sounds, and then there's like a swoosh from left to right or up and down, and then you have to select where you hear that spot, and you have to do this about 8 times, but each time it's a different color, and it's all like like as you select each phase, it just it takes the globe and turns it into like gold triangles, and then they fall to the ground. Then it does like their other icons, and then they fall to the ground. So at the end, you have all this like visual color and stuff, and then it kind of puts it together, and it's very like slick. And at the end, you basically have customizable 3D audio, the way you hear 3D audio sounds, so where you think it is. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've read some reviews about it, and I didn't believe them, saying about it's a game changer. Dude, it amplifies everything. Like it makes you feel like your head is in a dome. Like it really amplifies the sound and the direction. It doesn't hollow it. It doesn't make it echoey. It actually makes everything just kind of loud and around you. Like it really amplifies it. So when you get that beta, or if you have it, that 3D audio is really incredible. The customizable 3D audio. Go through it and set up your own profile.
And I'll
But
have to check that out when it comes out. So,
yeah.
Will, uh, speaking of global, you kind of play everything that's been put out on the globe. So, what have you been playing lately?
What's up, chat? What up, Jess?
Yo, what's up?
I finished playing Halo 2, beat that on the 26th, and then a couple days ago I beat Halo 3, and now I'm back to PlayStation, got that shooter itch taken care of. I also been playing a little bit of High on Life on the PlayStation. I've been playing about an hour here and there since it came out, but the game is just it's kind of boring, which hardly I hardly ever say that about games, but I don't know, something about that game that only keeps me interested for a short amount of time.
It's
And
because
just
you're
like
meant to
Jess,
rent it and send it back.
yeah, and some just like Jess, I did pick up on PSVR 2 Legendary Tales.
Oh,
I've
I got that too.
I've been trying to. I actually will. I almost bought it day one, but then I told myself I've been trying to do this thing where I'm only gonna buy games day one if I'm intending to play them soon. You know, like in the first day or the first week, because in the gaming world, you know, these games go on sale pretty quickly and sometimes for a big discount. And I'm tired of wasting money when I can just use those savings and purchase even more games. But I'm gonna get into that Legendary Tales with PSVR 2 is a love-hate relationship for me. It's like when I'm playing it, I can't believe that I've been putting off on playing it, right? Because
Uh-huh.
it's just like, dude, what are you doing? And when I'm not playing, and I'm like, okay, do I want to put the headset on? Do I want to clear out my gaming area? Do I want to stand up? Do I want? So I just make all these
Amen
excuses.
to dude. Amen to that. Same thing. Same thing. I know the struggle.
Fuck. Yeah, but as soon as you put that thing on, you're like, what the? Well, how come you're not playing this every day? And then I make
Yep.
plans to play it every day, but then the same excuses come around. It's just so easy. I mean, there's a reason I'm a console gamer, right? You just pick up the controller, you hit the button, and you're in the game in
Plastic box
30
make
seconds.
picture, guys.
Yes,
It's-
exactly.
I need that on a fucking t-shirt. Like, plastic box makes picture. That's
Especially
what I like.
after I played what's that game? Moss. I played Moss for the first time earlier this year. I'm like, holy crap, this game is freaking amazing. Like I was just so surprised then. But anyway, so I picked up Legendary Tales, which I'm excited. But I do have I have a ton of PSVR 2 games. Ghostbuster, me and Nelson have played that. Actually, me and Nelson never played it together. Nelson's kids and my son played the Ghostbuster game, and that game looks great. I've
Yes,
been
it
meaning to play
does.
that with Nelson. Yeah, it looks
Yeah, it
pretty
does.
good. I'm glad that they added that to the PS Plus subscription. I'm also excited to see what else they add. That's the gift and the curse of buying a shit ton of games, is because they come on a service like this, and you're like, oh shit, I could have saved myself 20,
Yeah, like
30
what's
bucks.
next month, right?
Yep, what's next month? But yeah, the Crossfire Sierra, like all these games, man, they're really, really good. And right now at the price point of the PSVR, I highly recommend it, guys. Just don't be like me putting excuses to put the damn headset on, because I mean, going to the PSVR 1 to this, it's like PSVR 1 is level 10 difficulty just to put that thing on and set it up.
Yeah, and
PSVR 2, easy.
okay. And then I have a Quest 3 also, which I love
Yeah,
as
me
well.
too.
But like,
Me too.
the thing is that the PlayStation is so much brighter, and the fidelity
Yes.
really, it's a really definitely a much of a more of immersion. And I'm gonna
Yes.
tell you too, the PlayStation Pulse Elite headsets are made for the VR.
Yes.
Dude, they fit right over the headset, because I didn't. I have the Pulse Elites, but like I've been putting, like I said, that like you said, that VR struggle with like, do I set it up? And I got a different stand now for it that's accessible. It's right there. So I was keeping it in the box for a while, which, like that box that comes in. So I have this stand, this charging stand now. So it's like right there. But yeah, like it's one of those things where when you put that on, it is total immersion. Like how bright it is, that HDR, that screen, that OLED screen is crazy. How bright it is.
I have the MetaQuest 2, or my son has it, but I bought it for him for Christmas last year. But the biggest, so the MetaQuest has, I would say, more features, right? Because it has way more apps,
Yes.
But the thing with the PSVR 2 is, because it is a designated gaming console per se, Jess is right. The immersion, like you put the Pulse headset on, you feel like just like the vibrations. Like with the MetaQuest, you got to put the earpiece on, or if you can.
Yeah, it's more of like it's sort of a social VR in the sense where you put it on, but you're not totally like you're not totally like in it, because like you don't have this. And also too, like you got to buy. I had to buy like a different mask for it, because like it doesn't black out black out everything. You got to get a different headset, because it puts pressure on your face, like ski goggles. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Another criticism I have for the PSVR 2 that I like from the MetaQuest is like they're like the apps, but also a lot of social games. Like I can't believe Rec Room is not on there. Like where are all these kind of like social, especially with PlayStation Plus, you would think they would have some like a lot of those social games where you go in there and there's like a bunch of mini games that you could play, like goof off and play some soccer, but you're like in a group with a whole bunch of like gamers and stuff like that. Well, who knows, kids. That's the one thing though. You go into those rooms, it's a bunch of kids running around.
Well, that's the social stuff, and that's my son plays that way more.
Yeah, my
because
son
of the
does
Rec
too.
Rooms and the other
Gorilla Tag too.
Oh, he loves that thing.
Screaming and yelling.
Oh my god, dude, he stands in that kitchen just yelling his nuts off. But the thing that I hate about the MetaQuest 2, which I appreciate now, this is going to like the PC Mac conversation thingy. On the MetaQuest, you have way more freedom as far as the apps that you can download, and also the games that you can buy. But then the problem comes into play, because if you get one of these games from the what's it called, the creator whatever, where basically these
The
are
app
games,
labs.
the app labs, they can
Yeah.
crash your whole fucking meta quest.
Oh yeah.
They can crash the shit.
And they got games with mods in them, which work
Eh,
great sometimes, but sometimes they
Sometimes.
can mess up.
Exactly. So, I mean, I've had a hard reset and restart and factory reset that MetaQuest about 3 times this year. Like, I've told my son, you download a fucking App Lab game one more time, dude, I'm going to throw this MetaQuest out the damn window because it gets annoying. So, that's the thing I like about the PSVR is, like, I don't have to worry about none of that stuff. And also,
Yeah.
the games work. You know, they
Yes,
work how they're
and a
supposed
lot of
to.
times
They're
they're big
polished.
games too. Like they're
Big games.
games. They're not these little experiments.
Well, I mean, look at Legendary Tales. I mean, that's a
Yo, that game's
multiplayer,
crazy.
you know, RPG, you know, like builder. Like, I'm excited to play with that.
Yo, that
And
crafting, I want to try in that.
the
Like
crafting,
you build the friggin' sword.
yep. But me and Nelson played a lot of mini golf on there,
Yeah.
which I've also played with my son. He plays on the MetaQuest. I play on the PSVR 2. But besides the point, guys, PSVR 2 at this price point, I highly recommend it. I don't know if it's gonna go any cheaper than this, but man, for $350, it's a good buy. And if you're already a PS Plus subscriber, you already have games to play automatically right there.
That's
But yeah,
true.
those are the
Yeah.
games that I've been playing. I'm trying. Oh, and then the last few days I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I like. I made a video on that today on YouTube, real quick. Go check it out. But unlike Thrifty, I don't follow every little shiny thing, so I don't get frustrated. But yeah, that's all I've been playing, man. Excited to be back this week.
Man, glad to have you back. Glad everything went well with your dental surgery and all that stuff.
Oh God, that was a pain in the ass.
The same day texting was fucking hilarious, though.
Dude, I had nobody to vent to.
I'm glad you chose me because it brightened my day. It was funny as hell. Okay, so I have actually been playing a couple things. TMNT, the Cowabunga collection. That's fun.
Oh yeah.
That shit's amazing. I plan on doing a community game night using that game to play with. It's on sale right now for $14.99 digitally. For the love of God, go find it somewhere physically. It brings back literally every ounce of nostalgia you might have had when you hold the Ninja Turtles game like in your hand, you come home, you crack it open, you take that disc out. It just brings back so many memories of playing all of those old Turtle games. All of them. Even though they weren't on disc, yes, I know they were on cartridge. Yes, I understand. But it just brought me right back. And speaking of nostalgia, thanks to talking to Jez a little bit after the show last week or the week before, I think it was last week, I ended up getting on EA Play before my subscription ran out, and I decided to play the College Football 25 trial.
I'm playing right now. Yeah.
Dude, I got 10 hours. I killed 10 hours in 3 days.
Oh, I got an hour left.
I'm done. I have nothing left. I'm so sad. But like, I can't help but say awesome, wonderful, amazing things about that game. The pageantry, the way the camera looks on the field, the way they made it. Like, I love that you can swap back and forth so dang fast. And so, like, if it's a running play, I kind of want it up close. But if it's a pass play, and especially if it's a deep pass play, I want it far back. I have a live video that I did where I gave my thoughts on Road to Glory, and y'all should go check that out. There is a little bit of boredom inside of there because it is like you're having to sit through some of the sections of the game because I was taking people through everything and how kind of it all worked. But I absolutely, and I never thought I'd say this. I never thought again that I would ever touch another EA Sports title at full price ever again. But I guarantee you that game, if you like college football, it will scratch every single itch that you have. I promise. And that, once again, is coming from somebody who absolutely cannot stand what EA has done to their EA Sports division. It is sickening.
I've been playing retro. I've been playing NBA, NFL 2K5, like the original. Dude, I can't believe it because that was like when EA said we got the NFL license.
Speaking of retro,
Horrible.
I have been talking to people in the Discord about getting an old school PS3. And right now, I don't have a camera or I'd show it to you, but on my desk right now in front of me is a PS3 Slim. Can't do
There
PS2
we go.
games, but I have a PS3 now. And it was my brother-in-law's, and if y'all remember me talking, he only plays sports games. So it came with NCAA Football 13, Madden 16, FIFA 17, and I didn't even know that NBA 2K18 was even on the PS3. I did not know that the sports games carried it out that far.
Oh, they dragged them out.
Because
Oh, they try to get their money.
if y'all remember, the PS5 came out in what, 2020? So we were 2 years away from the end of the PS4's life cycle, and these dudes were still giving games to the PS3. That's insane. But so I'm excited about that. They asked me to take it and like trade it in for them because they're moving and blah blah blah. And I told my wife, I said, "Yeah, that's not leaving this house. I just want you
Richie,
to
I
know
will
that."
get NCAA just to play with you on PS3
They didn't actually have that feature on the PS3.
or whatever game.
That's
What do you
what
mean they have co or online multiplayer?
They did not. Network players. Okay, so they do have two-player competitive. That's all they had back then. Because they weren't pushing monetization and trying to get you to buy all these packs and build up your.
Yeah.
They weren't
Oh, you
doing
mean
all that
teams.
bullshit.
I
It was-
hate that shit. I don't
It was
play
They
it.
made their
literally
money
just
the old
fucking
school
play
way.
with your people. Play with your friends. Real quick though, I've been letting people do their intros and my intro and all of that. We have a $2 super chat from Warawana that said Sony went to Bungie and threw organic growth around. Hey,
That's right.
pause. And then
Herman Hulse, no shirt.
then RPG88, member for 2 months, Red Badge Club, let's freaking go. Heck yeah, guys. Thank y'all for that, Wara, and thank you for the support. I appreciate it. RPG88, you've like I said, man, and like I'll keep saying, you've been here since the very beginning. You were one of my first guests on the show, I believe. Oh, what the hell was that?
Sorry, I got almost interception.
Oh.
I wasn't on the bowl. Don't worry about it.
I thought he was taking a shit, bro.
I was like, oh.
Oh no, we suck at
Oh,
it. Okay, so let's get into the first
The
topic
sound effects.
because, yeah, I really just want to. I just want to talk about this, and this is directly from Bungie. Okay, I ain't quoting nobody, but Bungie. This is directly from them. Okay, so anybody has a problem with it, I didn't say it. They did. And let's do this. Let's hide all of that. All right, so now y'all can see everything. This is the new path for Bungie. Long and the short of it, TLDR, they ended up cutting a lot of jobs. 220 of our roles were eliminated, representing roughly 17% of our studio's workforce. Now, on face value, let me tell you because when I read that tagline on X, somebody just posted it, I was like, oh, Destiny 2, done. They did final shape. Okay, cool. That actually makes a lot of sense. A lot of those people who ran back-end support or new content stuff for Destiny probably not needed anymore. Everything has kind of been pointing to the final shape being the final major expansion. Cool. So then I'm sitting here thinking, okay, that actually kind of makes sense. You get rid of these people, you don't need them there anymore, and then maybe some of them go do other things or what have you. They're not needed at the company to work on Destiny anymore. That was what I first thought of it. And then more stuff came out and I started kind of diving into this a bit more. And it says these actions will affect every level of the company. I hope so. Including most of our executive and senior leader roles.
Get them.
So, okay, so the reduction wasn't necessarily to get rid of the people who were working on Destiny 2. There is no way that you can sugarcoat this to make it sound now, after reading the second sentence of their statement, that this was only because, oh, it's just normal downsizing, it's just all of this, everything's fine. Like, if you listen to a PlayStation centric channel and they're like, oh no, this is fine, this is what's supposed to happen, it's totally okay. Yeah, they're lying to you. And they probably get a swag bag. Like, that's all I'm saying. Because this is not fine. This is what needed to happen. But this is because shit's been going downhill for several years. Like, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but Sony and Microsoft have had an issue buying companies that are broken.
Yes, amen to that.
Like, what the fuck? They they buy Activision Blizzard after Activision Blizzard is not even fully recovered from the turmoil of all the shit that's happening. They buy Bungie when Destiny is going into the shitter faster than anything that I don't know. I can't think of an analogy there, but it's going down the toilet. And then, sorry, that's all out of order and out of sequence. But then you have the ZeniMax deal with Bethesda, and well, what has Bethesda done lately? Not a damn thing. And
They
so,
were in
like,
trouble too.
They were in
weren't
trouble
doing
too.
too well.
Right. And so, like, they have a problem buying these broken companies, and there's a staggering difference though. When Xbox buys a company and that company fucks up, they circle jerk each other and say, "Hey, it's fine. We'll be okay. We'll be just fine. Booty's gonna bring us some more coffee. It's gonna be great. Don't worry, don't
Yeah.
worry. Monica Spencer is gonna go under the desk and keep your job for you. It'll be fine. Satya's gonna love him. It'll be okay."
Thrifty, have we seen any of these companies make any of these studios better?
No. And that's
Well, maybe Insomniac. But
but
they've been
Insomniac
kind of
wasn't
rocking.
failing.
Nah, they weren't. They actually, there you go. They were the only one that wasn't failing. It was
They were kind of at the top of their game
yeah.
because they had just released Spider-Man
And
2018.
and Housemarque was coming off of so Housemarque pretty solid when they got them. All right,
Yeah,
so we haven't seen it yet, but
No, and
Yeah.
what's funny is they waited until Ember Labs had the success from Kena Bridge of Spirits to offer to purchase them. Now, respect to Ember Labs.
that's who they should have got.
They said no. Well, Ember Labs said no. They wanted to go back to making movies.
Candy was awesome.
They did so good.
I want
But
another one.
they're getting rid of senior roles. What do we always say? Will, you are the poster child for blame the executives. Like, that is where we jump to here. Like, it sucks for the consumer, and the consumer can be smarter, but at the end of the day, the consumer's getting screwed, not because they're bad not totally because they're bad consumers, but because the executives at the top are making terrible fucking decisions.
Thrifty. The firing of these executives, it means nothing. It means
Explain
absolutely
that.
nothing. Because until Pete himself is gone, the executives are just foot soldiers. Whatever Pete
Yeah.
says is what they're going to do. So, yes, great, you fired the executives, and
He had to make his car payments.
yeah, right. No, Pete, and look, this isn't the first time Pete's fucked up. Pete's been fucking up for decades now, and we've had plenty of ex-Bungie employees say the same shit. And I forget her name. I wish I would have saved it for the show, but she was a gaming journalist, worked for Bungie for 2 years, and quit because I'm guessing she saw the inner workings of working for Bungie. I'm not going to say a developer because not all developers are like Bungie, but look, I'm not going to stick my foot out there and say that PlayStation is at fault here. And I'm not protecting PlayStation at all because, as you guys know very well, I've been upset at PlayStation this whole year basically, especially with their live service bullshit. But the reason I'm saying this is because I think PlayStation, I don't want to say they had nothing to lose, but they positioned themselves in a way where the loss was going to be very minimal. What do you mean by that?
They could control the loss.
They can control the
Yes.
loss,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
And now they're getting exactly what they want. They have 250 developers, which are seasoned,
Mm-hmm.
professional people that make quality games now working on a game that is going to be exclusive for PlayStation. Which remember, when Bungie got bought out, what was their thing? We're still going to be third party. We're still going to
Oh
make
yeah,
games
Pete
for
Boston
everybody.
said it.
He said that himself. And now PlayStation has control, and they just added another exclusive to the lineup. I am guessing, right? I don't know for sure, but why wouldn't you? Secondly, Pete is the problem. They've known this, especially when the spending gets ridiculous. And by spending, I mean personal money.
I'm starting
You
to
can
not
tell.
trust people with the first name Pete.
Oh, dude. he ain't the first one, won't be the last one. But as soon as Pete, and look, I just went through a merger myself and my company year before last, so almost 2 years now. And one of the first things that the our CEO, he wanted to expand about 15% of operation, or I'm sorry, of the field. He wanted to expand. So he wanted to open up 15% more stores in under 2 years. It was a crazy goal. I knew it was going to be so he can set up the company to get sold, which is eventually what happened. And now you're seeing we're closing a couple locations because they just went in too hard, too fast, and opened up locations where they
That
should have
sucks.
never been. But the very first thing the CEO did once he sold the merger, he sold his house, bought two of them, bought a couple cars, a mini Pete, because my company isn't at the value of not my company, but where I work isn't at the value of Bungie, but he did something similar. And if you look at EA, he just got a $25 million bonus last year. I forget his name. He's another fucking asshole. But the point is, these people are driven by greed, and because they are driven by greed, who has to suffer? Not them, everybody else. Xbox did the same thing. Captain Save a Ho, I call him, with old Bobby over there.
Big
They
booty
came
Bobby.
in the worst situation EA has been in a long time, and not only did they buy them, they overpaid, but they also gave Bobby a $500 million parachute to walk away. And you've seen this over and over again. And at one point, when is it enough? And this is when I tell you guys all the time. I know it's hard. I mean, it's hard for me, but we have to speak with our wallet. I just posted a tweet, or I don't know, a post on X yesterday, I think it was, or maybe earlier today, where I said, stop hitting or stop clicking on these damn journalists. Like, they're shit at their job. They're bought and paid for. Why are you clicking on their articles? You're just giving them oxygen to breathe. You have to do the same shit with these
And
fucking
their articles
games.
are paywalled.
And their article, exactly. It's
That
like, bro,
was some
stop.
bullshit.
Paywalled. Sign up for a trial. Get the fuck out of here. I don't need no bloggers, goddamn paywall.
So let's keep going down through this article real
Paywall.
quick, because
Paywall shit. It's just general knowledge. I can tell you things messed up.
Exactly.
that's so. One of the things that I've always kind of championed on this show is that even when I was just doing it solo, if you just use logic and remove all of your allegiances, or try to. I know it's damn near impossible. I'm always going to have some sort of PlayStation bent to what I say. I get that. But there are also a lot of times where you can remove your emotion from something and think 100% logically about it and go, okay, if this is happening and this is happening and this is happening, that altogether leads to this. Okay, so they bought ZeniMax, they bought Bethesda, they bought ABK, they bought Activision, they bought Blizzard, they bought King. Okay. Damn, look at all the fucking IP they own that's already normally going to other platforms. Oh, they own more third-party games and more third-party IP now than first-party. You know what? They're probably gonna go third-party. I was called a fucking idiot. No, all I did was took a couple pieces of information together and went, oh, huh, they're gonna chase the money. Got it. And look what's happening. It's not hard, guys. That's one thing that I've always loved about listening to Jez, and like that's one thing I like about Will being on here. I remember when Will uh oh crud, I can't remember if Will came on Salty's show first and that's where I ran into him, or something. No, I think we were playing Like,
Thrifty, we went over this like 100
I
times. We
know, I
played
know, I know.
The Ascent.
The Ascent, that's right, Nelson. That's right. Nelson kind of was that bridge. And I remember Salty asking me, "Hey, what do you think of that Will guy?" And I was like, "Dude, he's solid. He thinks about things logically. He doesn't get in like a tussle about certain things. If you can present a logical argument, he'll kind of see your point. Like he doesn't." And like I was just talking up because logic is super fucking important, and so are receipts. And that's one thing I respect about the Gaming Grindhouse and about Jez and the way he does it. This dude has receipts from a decade ago.
Oh,
Oh
Jess is
shit!
a beast at it,
He's
bro.
got
He's pulling up articles and quotes from last
It's called
century.
Google.
dude, the dude
Yeah, but you
has
gotta
the
have
Jesus.
some
sound
sort of
bites.
mind to think about that. Like you probably like, oh,
It's
I heard that
called
before, and then
Google.
Dude,
Is that behind the
I have
paywall?
a memory.
Jez?
I got a crazy memory. I got crazy memory. I remember all this shit. Well, the thing is that I cared so. Like the thing is, like I watched this whole thing. Like I've been following this because as soon as the shit went downhill, I didn't like it, and I got all pushback. People like you're saying the wrong things, and I just was like, no. And I remember, and I know, like I've been, dude. You go to my show 6 years ago. I just did the same thing I'm saying now. It's just now that it's true.
Well, it was true back
But
then, but people didn't want to hear it.
well, you had to toe the line. Like it was all about this whole get your channel, get the clout, get the grab ass, and get all that stuff because it was all about getting executives and getting that buy-in from the company. And I was like, I'm not doing that because I don't like what the company's doing. Why do I want to get bosom buddies with them? I don't like what they're doing, and I don't want that access. I don't care.
So,
I don't need that.
speak. So, further down in the article, it says, first, we are deepening our integration with Sony Interactive Entertainment. I do love that they're clear to not say PlayStation here. We're deepening our integration with Sony Interactive Entertainment, working to integrate 155 of our roles, roughly 12%, into SIE over the next few quarters. So 12 plus 17. I know I graduated high school in Texas and I graduated college in Arkansas. I know I don't do math well, but that's 29% of their workforce. 12, 20, or 12, 17. 220 getting laid off. If I'm reading this correctly, that's 220 roles being eliminated. Is this an additional?
Oh, Thrifty, it had to be more than that because they started off at 1,400 before last year's layoffs. Then
Yeah,
they laid
layoffs
off
at the end of the
another
year.
what 300 last year or something like that, plus another what they lost 250 plus. Yeah, dude, they almost
Right, and now
40%.
they're down to 80, I think.
So they're
I'm
at
sorry, they're at
800.
880, I think, is something
Yeah,
like that.
almost
Yeah.
40%, dude.
So
Almost. So if we round up half.
they're moving them over to the next few quarters. So if this is a combine or a portion of that 220, cool. If it's not, then I wonder if they just. So I guess what I'm trying to point out here is you have the 220. Is that in addition to the 155? Because they
Yeah,
were at 1100 after the cuts last year. So they cut another almost what 400 people? Is that what I'm understanding? 220,
yeah,
155, 365,
yeah.
or 375. Holy shit. Okay.
Right. It's over 300.
So what if they cut if they cut and eliminated a lot of executive and senior leader roles, then I'm guessing these 155 people right here are developers. That's what I'm guessing, is that they plucked developers and said, hey, you actually have skill. The company you work for sucks ass and hasn't made money for 2 years. Uh, you can have a job with us. Which says two things about Sony. One, it says Sony is actually in a pretty decent spot financially. To be able to take on 155 roles and to bring them over under their banner, because right now the financials for both of them have been listed at least separately on separate lines because they are owned by Sony, but they operate as an independent entity currently that that's probably going to change soon, but currently they operate independently ish. And so if you look at 155 roles that let's just throw out some bullshit numbers here. Let's just throw out some made up fictitious numbers because hey, I am not a journalist, so I don't have to be that accurate. We can have some fun. Let's say they make an average of $65,000 a year for 144 glasses messed up 155 people. Contacts, I mean. They just took in $10 million a year to their Sony Interactive Entertainment branches. That is not something a company would do if they were financially hurting. So, everybody who's been trying to push the narrative that Sony is, probably hurting financially and they're in danger of closing their doors and PlayStation doesn't make them enough money to sustain it and all that other stuff, yeah, they just saved 155 jobs that would have gone somewhere else.
Dude, they basically erected a studio overnight, literally.
Oh, yeah. No. They did 155 to SIE, and then, like, Warawana, thank you, man. I hadn't gotten to that part yet. 75 to a brand new studio. So, yeah, they're not fucking hurting. That is the sign of a company that actually is strong to be able to do that. Bungie, the entity that is owned by Sony, they're hurting because their executives suck. Jez, you've been trying to say something.
Yeah.
What you got, man?
Well, one of the things, when they purchased Bungie, what was almost like I forget how much it was, but what was a majority of that purchase price? It was for what?
Employees. To keep the
Yes,
people
it
there.
was a retention.
Yes.
It was retention. And now, yet again, they said that, Parsons was going to let go of all these people. And what did Sony do? They tried to retain the talent. And they know they can't retain it within Bungie. So they said, well, you're going to become part of us. Because they know that the knowledge that the Bungie employees have about network gaming and things like that, they have that experience. And they are plucking. And maybe like what Will was saying, like Sony did maybe see, it's almost like there was this this thing that was just struggling out there, and they're like, hey, you know what? They're gonna self-implode. Well, we want to be there to pick up the pieces when they do. So why don't we get involved with Bungie? We'll give them the stuff. We'll keep the people because that's what we're interested in. We're interested in the people. So let them implode because that Parsons is a dopey ass. He's gonna, if he wants, we'll give him the power of independency. But as soon as he doesn't hit his numbers, we're coming in and we're plucking and we're taking what we wanted from them, which is the talent. And that's what they're on now. He's not hitting the numbers. His game, and he's not going to hit the numbers until they release another game. He's never going to hit his margins. Like, they know that this is a failing ship. So maybe Sony did manipulate a little bit the situation to try to get this, but they cared more about the knowledge and talent, especially with their push for this live service bullshit. Bungie has that experience, and they were advisors, and they were using that. So now let's make them like part of us. And so Sony is interested in their talent. They're not, in the IP and all that other stuff. I guess that's also there. But again, they don't have a lot of IP that's established. It's basically a Destiny studio. That's what it's been. And Marathon, whatever that's going to be. So they really don't have, they don't have a big name to them besides they're just a one, they're just Destiny. They have the legacy of Halo and stuff like that, but Halo doesn't have the name that it used to have anyway. But the thing is that Sony's wants that talent. They want that knowledge of this live service stuff, and that's what they're doing. But they were there to say, hey, when this company implodes, we want to be there to get the talent and use it to our advantage. So they played a little bit in this situation too, but you're right. In here, they did say there was going to be a lot more, and I think Jason Schreier said it, or somebody said, there was going to be another 400 people let go if Sony wasn't there to hire them at the SIE and weren't there to kind of spin off that studio, that 50 or 60 person studio, to make a game that was probably not going to get developed. The guy said it was something in the back burner. They're focusing on Marathon and Destiny. That game probably wasn't going to exist. Sony's like, you know what? We'll make it exist. Let's do it. I don't know what it is. Who the hell knows? but they're creating a game and a studio within them, which is interesting, is because now again they're using the talent of Bungie to now create their own studio. So maybe they'll work on this game first, see how they go, and then they basically got the talents of Bungie's studio, like as a SIE outside of Bungie to name themselves.
And what that shows me too is a lot of times when these guys, then the heads of Sony look at, or heads of PlayStation look at a game and find it worthwhile enough to invest money in, it's usually enough to at least get my ears to perk up a bit and go, huh, I wonder what that is.
Because they do have an eye for some games. Conquered, I don't know about, but they do seem to kind of.
That was a big mistake. That whole company is a. I'm sorry.
Listen, the way I view this, you have Herman Holst, who did stuff with, I think it was Horizon. He was kind of the one who saw that, said that looks great, and they moved forward with it. I think it was either Horizon or he did it with God of War Ragnarok. I can't remember which one. But he came in and said basically, that's not going to work, fix that, and they fixed it, and we got the game that we got. I think that was Ragnarok, or God of War 2018. And then you have Shu, who went and found Stellar Blade. And then you have Jim Ryan, I believe, who was the one who found this one. I really believe that Jim Ryan was out shopping for live service games and live service pitches, and this is what happened. This one has to be seen by Herman Holst, which means the PlayStation Studios leadership, that's Herman. They were it says second, we are working with PlayStation Studios leadership. That's Herman Holst.
He's the boss now.
To spin out one of our incubation projects, an action game set in a brand new science fantasy universe, to form a new studio within PlayStation Studios to continue its promising development.
It's incubation project. So does that sound like something that was being worked on? That sounds something that was in just sitting there somewhere. It was an idea worked on, maybe basic, right? Incubation.
It was percolating. It was percolating.
It was not it was not coming out. They weren't they're working on their other games.
What's up, Elanini? I have not said hi to the chat at all tonight. I've been
Yo,
talking
Nini!
with y'all. What's up, chat? I'm gonna go back up to the top. I am so sorry, and I got to get over to Will. He has been way too quiet. There's a rant coming in just a second. I can feel it. But I
said the Conquered.
The Conquered.
Oh, yeah, Conquered.
Conquered.
Goku 1973. Leech, what's up, dude? We talked earlier. Henry Heck, Seafresh. Nick, how are you, man? Henry Heck, Michael, what's up, dude? RPG 88. We've already addressed that. Steven, Hero, Retro. Hey, Will already pegged you and gave you crap, but hey, I appreciate you keeping your promise. That was pretty cool. We had a few people come in here. Raquel, what's up? PlayStation 5 Sweden got a gifted membership. That's awesome. I do not think I've had a single person watch from Sweden yet. That's cool. DeFuzz, Simple Disaster, Octavia Cruz, Broman from the Fifth Flow. That's hard to say. Travis McNett, Andrew Clay, 2Pad Stack 7, so many people that I've seen in here before, so many new people as well. Thank y'all for being here. This is kind of just a break that I wanted to take real quick before I gave it over to Will, because Will, what do you think? Do you think I'm reaching for this? Do you think I'm too excited? Do you think I'm starved for PlayStation attention, so I'm hoping that this is good? Or do you think I'm okay to read into this and go, hey, if Herman saw this and said, yeah, you know what? We can create a new studio for that game. Should I be excited?
No, I think you're right.
Optimistic.
Yeah, optimistic is the right word. No, I think you're right. I think that's the general consensus. Once again, Thrifty, we here in our community, we have common sense, and we're able to put two and two together. I mean, it's not very complicated, and I think you're absolutely right. And why wouldn't you? If Sony's willing to pay $1 billion for retention, why wouldn't they be salivating at the opportunity to get some of that talent over to SIE and put them to work? That's just, black and white is pretty simple. Now we will see what outside of the box thinking Sony is doing in this situation, which they generally tend to do. And that's one of the things that we like about Sony is they'll just be quiet and all of a sudden they hit us with the bam, 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 and we're like, oh crap, it's way better than we thought it'd be. But I want to just touch on what Jess said earlier because Jess is 100% right. Bungie is never going to hit their numbers. I mean, the
Nope.
final shape was very, very
The
good
final
DLC.
straw.
The final straw, yeah, it was very, very good. I bought it myself. I played it with RPG. I played it with Henry Heck, and just in case you guys didn't know, when a company creates a budget, I call it the fake numbers because every fiscal year a company will create their budgets for the year, and that's how you know what departments got to hit what companies tend to do with these budget numbers as well is they say, okay, now these are just fake numbers, right? Just to give you guys the example, they'll say, okay, our company generates $1 million every year, and 300,000 of that is profit. So for this year's budget, we're going to budget $1.5 million. So what that means is all the departments have to increase their volume, their sales by $500,000 in between all of them. Now I call it fake money because if you don't hit that $1.5 million budget that they created for you, you're not losing anything because you're already making the $1 million that you made the previous year. Now the tricky part in all this is when the company goes on a spending spree where they're spending money thinking that they're going to make that $1.5 million that they budgeted for. That's where they fail, and that's where they start to make the cuts because now they spent themselves outside of that million that they originally make on a yearly basis, and they spent that 1.5, but that difference got to come from somewhere, and the biggest way to make up that difference is by letting go of people.
Mm.
He has what do you call that, carved out Bungie. They lose any more people, Marathon's going to get delayed till who knows when, which is going to delay their money. Whatever other Bungie content that they're working on is also going to get delayed, which they can't afford. So it leaves basically Sony no choice but to step in and take control of the situation. And they have the resources, so now that Sony can say, oh, you guys budgeted 1.5? Well, we'll make up that difference, but in return, we want this. And slowly but surely, Pete starts to lose control of his company. So all those fantasies of movies and music and TV deals, those are slipping through his fingers. Now, in the short term, Pete doesn't give a fuck because Pete just got a $3 billion payoff and he went ahead and bought $2.5 million worth of cars, reportedly. But in the future, it's where Pete's really going to realize how bad he fucked up. Because unlike regular people like you and me, we keep jamming our toes on the corner, on the hallway in our house. After the second time, we take a further step to the right so we don't jam our finger, or we put some sort of pass so we don't make the same mistake. These people are so full with greed that they will keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, no matter how many times they fail, because at this point, they're like gamblers. They are addicted to the gamble. They think that that one hit is going to solve all their problems.
Mm.
Pete just got that one hit. That was $3 billion with Sony, and he squandered it. So fuck Pete and everything that's coming his way. He's a piece of shit. Not because Pete bought $2.5 million worth of cars. Not because Pete mishandled $3 billion, $1 billion for employee retention. But because all the developers, including the upper management, are the ones that are suffering because of his poor decisions. And I don't give a shit if it was 5 C-level executives that got together and said, hey guys, let's make these decisions, and ended up fucking up the company. It doesn't matter if it was their fault because Pete is the CEO and Pete is the leader of this fucking company. And for some of you guys that don't understand what a CEO, the feeling a CEO can give you, take yourself back to the N64 days or PlayStation 1 days or the Super Nintendo days or whatever days you were scared of the dark. And it's a thunderous night and it's raining hard and thundering and you're under your blanket with your little teddy bear scared your little ass off. The monster's gonna come from under the bed or through the closet, and you're about to piss yourself, and all of a sudden, bust open, and it's your dad or your mom. Remember that feeling of safe? Remember that feeling of my problems are solved? Like my dad's here, my mom's here. Like, what am I even worrying about? That is the type of feeling a good leader gives their employees. Pete has failed in more ways than one. Fuck Pete. He's in the same category as Phil. He's in the same category as these fucking bullshit journalists. He's in the same category as these bots. Full of shit.
You know, the other thing too is that article that I was reading on my show yesterday about how in October when they had that first round of layoffs at Bungie, that was his decision and not Sony's decision, and it was his decision. He cut bonuses. He pulled the Clockers World, the Christmas vacation. He said jelly of the month clubs for everybody, no holiday bonuses. He laid off people, and he changed a lot of things to try to meet those numbers because he knows the repercussions that if they don't hit their agreed upon margins and stuff like that, they're going to be tapping into Sony stuff, and Sony's not in the business to lose money. They're not saying, hey, we didn't put money behind you. You want to be independent. You want to do what you want to do. Well, you got to hit your margins, and if you're not hitting them, then we're coming in and we're going to take over your board and we're going to do it because you can't function independently and you need us. Well, if you need us, then we're integrating more with you and we're going to have more say on what you do. And that's kind of where we're seeing now is that, but he did all that in end of last year to try to hit those margins. And then on top of that, they delayed the final straw, the final shape, and they basically delayed that, which that got pushed out. And while it did well, the thing is that the damage has already been done, you know, and I don't know what's in the cards for them to even come out. Like, is Marathon that ready for next year? And what is the shape of Marathon? Is Marathon going to be the next big thing? Or is it going to be the next fly-by-night service game that's going to last a month and people are going to be like, this is not Destiny, this is not this? Because you got to remember, with service games, and this is the problem I think, you know, some games have, where if they're only competitive, it's going to narrow the market down to those players that just want to play competitive games. And a lot of people are more open to co-op, where they're not going to get in there and get told they suck or just get dominated, or somebody who has hours in it. But if they could jump in with like two other people and just grind and shoot and have fun, that's what the lore of Destiny was. I don't know if Marathon's going to be that. It's an extraction. So it's probably going to have some of that co-op element there. So maybe it's not going to be as competitive there than what it is. But again, we haven't seen it. And if people just go, well, you know what, this is not Destiny, this is not what they're known for, this is definitely a spinoff, we don't know the success of that. And are they going to wait until next year for Marathon? And on top of that, there's tons of games next year. It's gonna have some serious competition, especially if GTA Online service games are gonna have a tough year next year, especially with GTA Online if they do any kind of upgrade to that for GTA 6. Service games are gonna watch out.
Oh, it's gonna be rough once Grand Theft Auto drops. Like,
if they update GTA Online with like new things for the new GTA, I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's a rough year next year. So Marathon,
they're just late. They're late to the live service bullshit. I mean, look at Power World. Power World lost 80% of their gamers, and I mean, days of the Fortnite success, I don't want to say it's gone forever, but in order to really cash out,
hard.
They should have been started this shit in 2000. I'm talking about PlayStation right now. They should have been started this shit in 2013. So the games came out in 17, 18, 19, mid 2020s. Like, bro, people are up to here with the microtransactions. They're up to here with just getting fucked over with financially, with incomplete games, with unfinished products, and not just that. Every now and then we get a successful game. Like, look at Helldivers.
Yeah.
Where are the people trying to replicate Helldivers' system? Like, it's very affordable. Right, I'm sure they are. But it's like, bro, you're going to come out with a hero shooter with Marathon. Destiny, I think the success with Destiny was because it was
So Marathon is a hero extraction shooter? I thought it was an extraction game, wasn't it? Or no? Is it hero? I don't even know what Marathon is. I thought it was an extraction.
Well, real-time fact-checking is a thing that we can
There
do
we go.
here.
Yeah, hit that Google because do some of the
Hit that
Gaming Grindhouse Googling.
Well, you know that they try to make me use the Microsoft bullshit one, so let me actually go to
Oh,
Google. Okay.
get in there. I think it's an extraction shooter.
Well,
Yeah, we haven't seen gameplay or anything to
first-person shooter from no shit. I got that far.
it. So it's first person. So already,
It's a
like you know,
next gen PvP extraction shooter from the economic
Oh!
times that allows
Oh,
solo
no!
or squad play.
Oh, there you go. PvP. There. What did I just say about narrowing your?
Yeah,
It's PvP extraction. So
yeah, I'm out
that's
on that
definitely
already.
not the best. That there you go. See, Thrifty's not in the PvP. That's what I mean. It's
hate it.
tough, dude. That's so it's
And
therefore
I think
it's
the PvP
different than
market, if
Destiny.
you're gonna play PvP, you're already in COD or Battlefield or
Yeah,
Fortnite. Like that's actually one of the reasons I'm kind of excited about Fair Game, because Fair Game seems like that kind of, hey, team up, kind of like a heist type thing. Like that sounds fun to me. Like I can picture myself, Will, and Nelson on there just doing stupid shit and trying to complete whatever missions or objectives there are.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
So therefore, that Destiny crowd is not going to migrate right over to Marathon unless they like the Crucible and things like that. So I don't know, like, and given this serious what's going on right now with Bungie, is PlayStation or is Sony going to wait until Marathon's ready? That's if Marathon comes out on time. This says it's slated for next year. And so, like, what is Bungie gonna do from now until then? Like, you know, that's it. Is he gonna hit his numbers? Who knows? I think Pete Parsons is gonna probably be out by the end of this year, and then Sony's just gonna take over the rest of it, take over the board, and be like, "Yep, Bungie, we're gonna tell you what to do now." You know, that independent stuff, that ship has sailed because you guys can't do it. Whether Sony knew that was in the plan, you know, and they kind of foresaw that, foreseen that, I don't know, but you know, it is what it is, and you know, I hate this consolidation shit. I think has ruined gaming across the board. Everything. I think this whole consolidation of scooping up companies like Embrace has started it, and all this other stuff. Look, all we've been getting is friggin' garbage. All we've been getting is studios getting closed, layoffs, games getting canceled, games getting handed off, IPs just getting dissolved, volition going away. Then all of a sudden they bought Tomb Raider, and we're gonna make Tomb Raider now, and
And then
it's just been it's been a mess.
Deus Ex, they screwed that one up.
Deus Ex?
Sorry, I'm super pissed off at Embracer Group still, because when they bought the freaking studio that does Deus Ex, they came out and said, "Wait on us to show you how to do a cyberpunk game."
Right?
I was so
my God,
freaking
dude,
excited about that. And then we hear 4 months later, yeah, we shut down that studio. Well, y'all fucking suck.
Look,
like,
yo, people want the
games.
Tango Gameworks to make friggin' Evil Within 3. And guess what? Tango Gameworks don't exist anymore. Thanks. It don't exist. It's been erased. Even the name of gone. Shenge's out. Tango Gameworks is gone. It's erased. Like, that's the thing. It's gone. Whether he goes makes Evil Within, but that was the tone. Like, oh, Evil Within is just like what people are saying with Microsoft and Activision. Oh, they're gonna bring back Prototype and this, and oh, they're gonna bring back all the Spider-Man games and stop it. They can't even get out their games now. They're gonna go back and make old games. This consolidation sucks, and I think Sony saw Bungie sitting there and was like, "Yo, Microsoft is on acquisition season. They got fear, and they just said, hey, let's start buying shit." Because remember, before Microsoft bought Bethesda, Sony hadn't bought, like, they didn't buy, they haven't bought company studios ever. Like, it was, I remember Cole Moriarty saying, like, Sony hasn't bought a studio in 15 years. Like, it's been crazy. And then all of a sudden, that Bethesda shit happened. Then after that, now Activision, and Sony started saying, well, we got Bluepoint. We got Housemarque joined the family. But then they started going outside shopping. They go, oh, and now we got Bungie. And it's just like, I think they did it more of as a defensive strategy to stop somebody else from getting it. and I just think they kind of they kind of inherited a studio that just had troubles, and they're gonna be like, well, if you guys go down, we're at least gonna take your knowledge pool and use it to our benefit, and that's kind of where they're at right now. But this acquisition stuff, man, it sucks. It sucks. And then to hear gaming is the biggest thing ever, right? It's everybody's more gamers in the world than ever. If there's so many, like, I think it's chum, dude. This is what happens. I think the people that spent and bought the most and were passionate about gaming are getting ignored, and they're looking for these. It's just like this random ass number of people that really casually don't really care about gaming the way and would spend in gaming like you. You got to trick those people to think that they're in a casino or gambling, or use these kind of tactics of like, hey, do you want to wait an hour for your hot, or do you want to pay me $2 and use your hot now? And just manipulate people. And that is the gamers that they want. Those are not gamers. Those are just you're tricking people to spend money.
And you hit it on the head. It's manipulation, right? If you take
it's manipulation tactics. It's not gaming.
Right, but if you take any number out far enough and generalize it enough, or any statistic, right? So one of the things that we did many years ago when we went through marriage counseling, premarital counseling rather. Yeah, sorry. One of the things when we went through premarital counseling,
Tiffany's gonna break it down.
Right. They had told us that, like, so the divorce rate's almost up to like 55%, blah blah blah. So what's the point in getting married? And then they broke down and put in some qualifiers into that. Okay. And when you put the qualifiers in,
qualified one love? Was that
right? Like,
no.
Well, no, like the qualifier. funny, but it's.
Or is it tax breaks or
no? It's so essentially what it was all Christian based. So what it was if the couple goes to church regularly, if they are both involved in some sort of Bible study, the number goes down to like 20%. If you add in, are they actually involved in helping out at their church? The number goes down to like 10% of couples that has all of those things. So those qualifiers, it's not near as scary as somebody going, I'm never getting married because 55% of marriages end in divorce. Like, so
well, you're going to get divorced if you go in with that attitude.
Right. But so when you look at there's more quote unquote gamers, and I know that was an analogy to get to this point, but if you look at just saying, oh, there's this many gamers, what the freak are you including? That's what I want to know. Like, are you including any single person that has Farmville on? I don't even know if that's still a thing.
Yes.
On
look at Santi. 500 million monthly active users.
Right.
Who are they?
Exactly.
I think that they want to get a lot of. They just want to take shortcuts, man.
So it's
like they want to sell game shortcuts. They want to make game shortcuts. They want to get an AI involved, make shortcuts. Like everything is shortcut. Like why can't we just get back to old school selling? Here's my product, and this is why it's better than that product, and this is why the price that I'm selling it for is worth the money. Like I was just at Home Depot looking for some home items, and I was going over the options, and I was like thinking about gaming at the same time, and I'm like, I would pay $100 retail for a AAA video game if they made it completed, if they made it the way that how they used to make it for the PS3 era. A fully I'm excited for. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later on with Space Marine 2. That game has a campaign. I've said this on the Discord before. I've said this here on the podcast before. That game has a single player campaign, co-op campaign, online multiplayer, has also like a horde mode. It's a complete game. It reminds me of the games that we used to play with the PS2, PS3, era. Nowadays, they're just trying to give you bits of a game, trying to maximize it, meaning, oh, we sold 3 million, we sell at $70 a piece, so that 70, 140, 200 and whatever, 10, $220 million isn't enough because our production cost is X amount and our marketing is X amount, and we rented the Sphere in Vegas, and that cost $1 million a minute.
Mhm.
So it's like, bro, what are you doing? The gaming industry makes more money than NFL and music combined. Like, how come they're not bitching about how much money they're making? How come, the retailers like GameStop, who make a small percentage of the money that anybody in the gaming industry makes, why are they still surviving and thriving and trying to come up with better ideas to run their business? I just do not understand it. And I think that they're, like Jess said, they're trying to go after these fucking gamers that I don't really call them gamers. They're experimentalists. They're time killers. They're at their doctor's office. They're gonna log on their phone and play a couple minutes till their names get called up. Or they're at home and they got told about, they're gonna play Call of Duty or Fortnite for 45 minutes or an hour till they get their ass beat and they're like, I give up. And then they'll touch it again in next month. Like, what about us who play every single day, numerous hours, who beat games, who are constantly talking about games, which is the majority of us? And mind you, those gamers, their average age is 30-some years old. We have our careers. We have our money. We're the ones that you should be selling to. You do not customize your product to be so wide range that nobody wants to buy it.
And I don't even think that, like, if they don't see it now, like, how the hell is your console down 47%? I know we're jumping ahead, but I just want to say this with this monthly active user stuff. You got 500 million monthly active users, and your console has ever been, like, in the gutter. Like, the thing is, it doesn't match. Like, what are you counting? And what I have to say, it's all about quality. It's like, do you want a quality customer, or do you just want a person? Like, that person is not going to generate money. You could have 10 people walk in with no money, and you could be like, well, 10 people walked in today. Or you could have one person that comes in with a boatload of money and buys a bunch of stuff. What would you rather? To say I had 10 people come in the store and not buy shit? Or you had one person come in today and they spent $1,000? As a business, what do you want? Oh, I got 10 people. Yay. It's like, well, how much did you make? Nothing, but we got 10 people. It's like, who gives a shit? But I had one customer today and he spent $1,000. How much did we make? Yeah. Oh yeah. Now that's money. The thing is like, do you want a customer that, and what's crazy is that if there's so many gamers out there, then there should be enough overhead for them to take risks and make those quality games to satisfy those gamers in addition, because the money's flowing from the people on Candy Crush, the money's flowing from on Panda Pop. So if that money's flowing, there should be enough money in the pool to say, hey, we could take risks. We could do this with our company because we're getting all that stuff. Instead, they're taking the stuff that we have that they're known for and chasing those friggin' whales out there, hoping that they're gonna get somebody to bite. And I think they're gonna find out that, dude, when they come back, there's nothing left. It's like a friggin' movie, dude. It's like the like those movies, Hubris, where the guy's like, I'm gonna get this goal. I'm gonna it's a million people, and then he goes and he destroys his family, his friends, his career, just because he has this goal of chasing this treasure. And then when he gets there, he finds out that the treasure chest is empty, and he looks behind and realizes that he lost everything in the pursuit of that treasure chest, there was nothing in it. And he lost everything that meant anything to him, and now has nothing. That's basically what they're doing now. They're chasing after that treasure chest and realize that it's just going to be empty when they get there. And they're going to lose everything on the way over there.
Yeah, they are. Sorry, I have the Space Marine 2 trailer playing on the video right now. Will, you were saying something just a second ago.
Oh yeah, the Jess is 100,000% right, and not just that, they're also looking out for themselves. Meaning, how high can our bonus be this quarter? How high can we pay ourselves out this year? And it's just gross. Look, I want these people to get paid well, because if they're getting paid well, they're comfortable financially, and when you don't have to worry about paying the mortgage, paying the light bill, buying groceries, you can focus on what's really important, and that's your creativity and the thing that you love the most. But how do you think these developers over at Bungie are feeling right now? Do you think that do you think they're excited to go to work tomorrow, work on Marathon? Do you think that they're coming up with ideas on how to make the game better? No, they're just trying to figure out see if they're even gonna make it till next month or
That's I was
next
about to
year.
say. They're trying to figure out how they're going to keep their jobs.
Dude, I think they're done after Marathon, if not before that. Like it's gonna happen unless Marathon just blows up. Like I wouldn't. I don't know, man.
Mm.
I'm not gonna say that Bungie was a terrible buy because I think for the $3 billion that PlayStation paid for it, and look, I'm a big person. I'm a big, I'm a big person on people where I'm huge in investing in people. Like I much rather hire three really good employees that and pay them double the salary to do the job of 10 people. Like I've always had that thinking. It's always worked out for me. And a buddy of mine who's a business owner, he does the same thing. He has 15 employees and he pays them like he's got 30 and they manage themselves. Oh, Becky's got to go pick up her kid. He doesn't hear about it. They work it out amongst themselves. They are adults. They get paid very well. They keep the company going. And he actually takes more vacation than ever because they're running the business all by themselves and they're happy to do it because they feel that they're valued at their job. And it's frustrating to me because he'll hit me like, hey, want to go to lunch? Like, no, dude, I'm working. But these people over at Bungie, they don't have none of that at all.
Man, did you just see this breaking that Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy let go in the recent layoffs? Luke Smith, I didn't remember him. That guy, he's been laid off.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
Wait, isn't that the director or the
Damn, what did
what's
Luke
his,
Smith do? I'm gonna find out. What did Luke Smith do?
I think he's up there.
Luke Smith,
Senior exec. Get a
per gaming dude love just told us.
Yeah.
LinkedIn profile. I have no idea. No idea what he does. Oh, he's a writer.
He doesn't work at Bungie anymore. That's what he does.
Nope, he is a writer for them.
Oh,
Not no more.
Yep.
not anymore. And Noseworthy, that guy.
No idea. But you don't need a Destiny 2 writer if you're not planning on continuing Destiny 2.
So is Marathon not having a story?
They probably had somebody else working. I mean, here's the other thing. They got 850 people still. You're telling me you can't make a game with 850 people?
Well, they were working on 3 games, and look, man.
They were senior executives at Bungie.
Yeah.
Both were part of the recent round of layoffs, according to Grubb, Gaming's Mankind. He said that they were labeled as working on Payback. It was going to be their next big thing for Destiny, but not Destiny 3. Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy are no longer at Bungie. They were let go. They were caught in the executive leadership shakeup. So let's have clarified that Smith and Noseworthy's departure came as the Payback project was shut down.
Ooh, there it is.
They were just the heads that had to be served. That's all they were. They were the sacrifice.
The big part, though, the payday part.
That Payback. Destiny 3 or Payback, yeah. That
has
new
been
thing.
shut down.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there was speculation earlier today, funny enough, between when Jez started his show earlier today and when my show started tonight, there has been speculation in between as people have been processing this news and digging in more that Destiny was probably ending up on the chopping block. And that they would go down to more of a management style system with it, where you're getting smaller updates here and there, but just kind of putting it on its own autopilot. Which, if that's the case, and then what Jez just read, Destiny 2 is finished. It's not finished as in they're going to shut it down. It's going to be done getting massive new expansions.
Well, I mean, Final Shape was the last one, so we knew that. But they were still supposed to come out with little bits of content here and there. But they said that this was going to be the last DLC. So this isn't anything new. So now they're just cutting all the fat. But these executives, we'll see how things go as the weeks go on, if they get rid of any more. But there just has to be a head on a nice silver platter, and I think these guys tend to be it. But I don't think this will satiate anything. Not until Pete is gone. He's been
Yeah.
in charge for way too long. He's made way too many mistakes. Look, with Xbox, we all thought Xbox was the problem. Then with what was it, EA next? We all thought they were the problem, and now with Sony, now we're saying Sony's a problem. Like, at what point is it he's the problem? And it wasn't Xbox. Maybe Xbox was the problem too because still haven't learned anything. But EA or PlayStation, like, come on, man. At what point do we stop blaming people and start taking accountability for ourselves? And Pete
Yeah.
needs to do that. Like, bro, you got paid. Cash out. You have enough money where you can put enough in a ROI and keep making money off that money and not have to worry about it for a couple generations. Like, just drop it. Let other people take. If you really love this, then let it go. Let it go. You know what's the best thing that you can do, not for yourself only, but for your employees, man. Because my son right now has been talking to me about what he's going to do when he grows up. He's like, I really love video games. Maybe I want to make games. And when I tell him about this news, do you think that motivation? Do you think he's going to grow up and want to do games in such an uncertain, job? So where's all this creativity? So this hurts me too. Yeah, I may not be a big fan of Destiny. I may not even play Marathon, and if I do, it might only be for a little bit. But then what? Then after that, what about the other companies? We have seen so many developers and publishers shut down because of poor decision making. And every single time, what do? They blame the consumer. They blame
Yeah.
the market.
You didn't buy it.
You didn't buy it. The
But
market
you didn't market it. You didn't show.
It's
Let
like,
me
bro,
know.
the market is tough for everybody, and there's still people making billions a year. Like, at what point you gonna hold yourself accountable, man?
Oh shoot. Hey, I made a boo-boo. Sorry about that, Wara, my BAD dog. I did not read a super chat. Here it is.
Oh shit!
Okay. So what's really funny is, well, it was during when Will was talking a few times ago, and I literally almost had to mute my mic when I read the damn thing because it's fucking hilarious. Warawana with the $2 says Sony has the new studio working on Concord 2 now.
Oh God.
And I
Will's
even
game of the year.
Yeah,
right.
no, fuck that, dude.
And then you
Sheesh.
have
They need
Oh.
cocaine furry too.
Bro, they still got that other live service game that they just showed the CGI trailer for, that Robin Bank, whatever.
Yeah, fair games.
Fair Games.
Oh my God.
Dude, that's another game where Jade Raymond, who's known for the first Assassin's Creed, who's been using that as clout for like
20
for
years.
her whole career. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, she has yet to like get her game out there, dude. It's like she bounced from Google when they shut down Stadia, so she's a Stadia refugee.
And then Nick over here is was it Nick that said it? Yeah, Nick said when Will was talking about who the problem is, Nick said Ubisoft is the problem.
Oh,
Don't you
Ubisoft.
dare, Nick. Don't you dare.
Dude, I don't know, man.
Nick, I agree.
I can
As a
see
matter
that
of
Star
fact,
Wars,
Hey, Ubisoft is a problem, but hey,
man.
they have their 15,000 employees hired.
Dude, I might have to reinstate that.
working.
Don't go full Ubisoft. That might get reinstated.
and guys,
Hey,
listen,
they got their people working.
Will, I think the journey that I've
Yves
been on
Guillemot.
over the past few days, really, it's not even a journey. It was more like a excursion. Realizing that I have enjoyed, let's call it the past month, I have enjoyed Jedi Survivor. That's an EA published game. That I have absolutely fallen in love with College Football 25. And as soon as we get all the kids back to school shit bought and all that stuff, I'm probably going to end up purchasing that game.
Which one?
College Football 25.
Oh, okay.
See,
That's
I'm waiting on
another-
Madden to decide where am I going to bounce. Because Madden has that physics engine. I want to play both of them side by side.
Yeah, I don't know. Madden and me, I'm more leery on Madden because it doesn't have my nostalgia. It just has my vitriol. And so
Yeah.
I need Madden to come out every 2 years and
Agreed.
charge us $15 for like a new roster update expansion. Like, I don't care about the rest because in the chat, I can't remember who it was, but in the chat we were talking about MLB The Show 20, like the new one, and 2024. And I was like, man, I don't play them anymore. I love the show, but I don't play them because they all look identical to what they did in
Yeah.
2019. And like, there's no upgrade when you have to shove these things out on a yearly basis. You don't get good, solid upgrades. Not anymore. I mean, guys, back in the day, every year felt like a generational leap sometimes when you
Yeah,
were
dude, remember
playing
the
those.
hit stick from one year to the
Oh
other?
my God.
That
Dude.
changed everything.
Guaranteed fumble. But like,
Yeah.
that's
Dude, they still
beside the
never
point.
added the Winter Classic to the hockey.
No, they didn't. But like, to what I was saying, like, I don't want to. I don't want to say any publisher is the problem. And the reason why is because I've mentioned it a few times over the summer. Gaming, a good game, a fun game, a game that hooks you will make you sound like the biggest hypocritical gamer you've ever seen. Because
Facts.
you'll go on these rants about how you hate this company, hate that company. Hell, Blizzard, Diablo. I have been proven wrong 3 times this year, and now I'm wanting to play a fucking Warhammer game, a series I know absolutely jack shit about.
It looks good,
It
but be
looks-
wary of those Warhammer. They look good, but
But it looks so
you gotta watch
good.
them. It
looks so
I've been
good.
burnt to some Warhammers.
I've played whichever one was the top
Which one was the
down,
one? What was the first person one that I played? Which one?
Vermintide?
Yes.
Vermintide.
Yep. Like, I know about the games because they've always interested me, but I've never actually I've never played.
See,
more than
I've
about
played
10
Space
hours of
Marine
Warhammer.
1, so if Space Marine 2 is sort of Space Marine 1, then they're a killer job.
So,
Because
Jez,
Space Marine 1 is just a third-person shooter action adventure game, basically.
what do you have to look out for with? Because once again, I have not. The only one I played was a top-down isometric shooter, and it puts you on this big old ship, and you literally just went, did missions, collected resources, and did that. I cannot remember the name of it.
It may look good performance-wise. There's a lot. It's just to watch.
Okay. Okay.
No. Oh, damn, that was pretty crazy, that kick. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, yeah, they look good, but I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. So, we have about 15 minutes-ish left. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and skip what Xbox is because I don't give a shit. And neither do they. I know it's on the heading, and I know that was the third topic, and we didn't even get to Lost Soul Aside and what the hell is going on with that. By the way, the title of the show, LSA WTH. If you don't know what LSA stood for, it's Lost Soul Aside. Apparently, we're not getting that game till 2095. Like, it's...
Oh,
I
shit.
don't know what the hell's happening with it. I have been excited for that game since I saw the first trailer, and then we didn't hear shit. And then when Stellar Blade dropped this year, as fast as it did from like beefed up announcement to like, oh shit, less than a year after it's been announced, we're playing it. We didn't think we were getting this game at all. Holy hell. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Stellarblade did
That's-
come out of that.
That's what they're going to do with Lost Soul Aside. I was so excited. I remember talking to Josh in the Discord about it, by the way. Link in the description. Join the Discord. It's super fun. Like, I remember talking to Josh about it and being like, man, this gives me hope. I can't wait. I'm hoping it comes out by the end of the year now, like, because it was announced, and now they've got their legs under them, and all this and that, and now, you know what? The slice of the game that we saw, that we all loved, that we all really made us like get all giddy inside, and that we wanted to play. Yeah, that's about all that's fucking done of the game. That's, They said they have about 1 to 2 years left on it.
Oh, damn.
And Josh pointed out in the chat, I get that, they are a 13-man team.
Oh, wow.
But here's the deal. If your game looks that good, what are you doing?
It's coming out on the PS6.
It's coming out on the PS6.
That's why it looks so good.
But, like, that's one of the games that I was super excited and hoping came out this year. But
Oh, this year.
listen, I had super high hopes when Stellar Blade gets announced in like what was it, June, July of last year, and then not gets announced, but that's when we see the name, the actual trailer, and all of that. I believe it was last year, and then it's like, okay, it's an overseas game, it's a new IP, it's gonna be slow rolled. They're just building hype for it right now, getting people interested, telling you that it's not called Project Eve, it's actually called Stellar Blade, and cool, we'll see it in a couple years. Um, well, then in January, when I was all pissed off at Sony for not giving us any new games and any list of what's coming out, they dropped it on that list and said, "Oh, hey, it's coming out quarter 1." Like,
Yeah, you know, you went down because they did say it was the year of Xbox with all the games and Sony had nothing.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's
They
funny
were
how
saying
works.
that in that time, yeah. Isn't that wild?
And I was pissed.
So what do you think of that, Vowed?
Like, I was legitimately upset, and I remember Nelson and I think it was Nelson and Will who were talking to me, be like, "Man, they've not led you wrong in the past. What's all this doom and gloom for? Why you ask? What's up, Outsider Gaming Night? Uh,
Yo, what's up, man?
uh, like, have they steered you wrong yet? Just kind of trust the process. Let's see what they give us." And then, surely enough, like 2 weeks after that, I'm freaking happy as hell on one of these shows because they've given us all of this stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is great. We know what's coming out between now and May. I'm happy. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about games coming out this year, because right now on my list, and then I'll go ahead and let Will talk, and then Jez, I'll let you finish us out on it. But on mine, I am really looking forward to Astrobot. I can't wait to play that game. I can't wait to have that game here. And I am also really looking forward to Astral Blade. It is a kind of a Metroidvania style looking game, and I saw the trailer for it. I saw some of the gameplay within the trailer because, hey, fun fact, we care about gameplay. We want to see that. And once I saw the gameplay and saw her jumping around back and forth all over the screen and doing these slashes and dives and everything, I was like, okay, yeah, that's a game for me. And then, thankfully, because of the Discord, uh, I am very interested now in Space Marines 2 because, yes, it does look gorgeous. It looks like a game that it almost reminds me a little bit of the way not Helldivers, Outriders was. These big hordes of enemies coming at you, and you got to do every single thing: power-ups, boosts, grenades, rocket launchers, shotguns, anything you could use to kill them. And that's fun. I love shooters like that. I really do. Holy cow, JP Loco with the 10. So with Avowed delayed, what did Xbox release this year? Only Hellblade 2 and maybe
Oof.
Flight Simulator.
Flight
And they
Simulator.
tried
Get that shit off of anybody's list, please. I saw that shit in somebody's list. Stop. Flight Simulator, you gotta be kidding me.
And they tried to say
What are
that PS
what are they
has
changing
no
in
game.
Flight Simulator? The globe is changing. What are they changing?
Nothing. And
That's a game that doesn't need yearly updates. Holy
Um,
shit!
he
Oh, the
said,
country, like, is things moving around that I'm missing? What does the update do?
it adds new buttons. Uh,
What is it adding? Adding new
don't
planes? Is that they use like they're adding new planes? Is
At that
what's
point,
happening?
that's like their Madden, that's like their that's like their MLB.
Get
The
it off the
Show.
list,
It doesn't
dude.
even. It's not even a new game.
Do,
It's
do
a
you
new
see what they
roster.
got? They like Diablo DLC, Flight Simulator 24, Elder Scrolls DLC. Where the hell Sea of Thieves?
Dude, I saw
Like
you
again,
point that out.
like
It's so bad.
my,
What-
like yo, are you kidding me? With this, this is what they would. Thrifty, this is the shit that they were doing at the end of last generation. They were having shows and they were just talking about they were talking about DLC updates to games, and where everybody's like, well, where's the new games? Oh, well, we don't have them available right now. Oh, did you see Elder Scrolls is getting a seasonally update, and this is getting an update, and State of Decay 2 is getting an update, dude. It's like, Are you kidding me? With all these studios and all these games, the showcase that you had, you say we're coming to the show with a bunch of updates to games. Somebody on the list, goddamn Dusty Bin, friggin' Dusty Bin had a goddamn he had World of Warcraft updates. I'm like, what? We're counting World of Warcraft updates and goddamn Flight Sim 24. I'm like, are you kidding me? Holy shit!
The last game that I'm excited about
Holy shit!
is
World of Warcraft.
and this will be my full price purchase of the year unless Sony comes out in September and announces something nuts. But it's going to be Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Oh, that was good.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to play that freaking game. That's going to be fun. It might be a game that Josh and I might be able to get him to play
I might have to get
sometime on there
that.
too, because it
Yeah.
looks really good. But
Yeah.
Will, I've talked a lot. I've said my four. What games are you looking forward to that are new releases coming out this year?
This year, I am extremely disappointed in the video game industry. I am
Oh
like,
shit.
I just like,
This is his
I
therapy
bought,
session, Jez. It's fine.
it is. So forgive me, guys. But I bought a PS3. I even got the model that I didn't want, just because I felt a little bit of desperation inside of me. And for some of you guys who may be new to the podcast or you guys don't know about my gaming habits, um, this month, which I will be posting on Twitter, so or X, if you're not on there, please follow me. I have beaten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I beat 10 games in the month of July. 10 games. So my hunger for games is really, really high up there. Now people say, "Will, how do you game so much?" Well, because I don't watch TV, I don't watch movies. It's either that or gaming. I pick gaming. And the rest of the year, there's only two games that I am looking forward to with a passion, like a little kid. One is Metro VR, and that doesn't have a release date, but it's expected to come out around November of this year. I'm a huge Metro fan, and I'm excited to see what that's going to look like on VR, but I'm really looking forward to just the story. It's supposed to be a prequel to 2033. The second one is Space Marine 2. Now, like I was talking earlier, and just like Jess, I am wary of the Warhammer games because they have everything from turn-based, and it's just a whole bunch of shit. And to me, I like story, and their stories are so big and so like you don't know where one begins and the other one ends and what how it ties to the other thing, and it gets frustrating. But I did play Space Marine 1 on my Steam Deck, and I loved it. And that's why I got excited for Space Marine 2, and then seeing the gameplay, it looks just like Space Marine 1. Honorable mentions, Astrobot, of course. I like Astrobot a lot, but it's still only a platformer, and it's I don't want to say kid friendly game because those games are cool too, but the fact that that is PlayStation's first party game, starting lineup is very, very disappointing because they put these live service games the importance that they should have never have gotten. And then my fourth game that I'm looking forward to, and I'm gonna split that between two real quick, and it's gonna be Stalker. Believe it or not, I've actually been looking forward to Stalker. Now, I will say that the presentation of Stalker hasn't been the best, but I am interested. I like the whole nuclear, poisoning, and I like all that stuff. There's a game that I bought for the PS5 called, what is it, Chernobyl? I forget what it is, but it reminds me a lot of Stalker. And then the other one that I'm splitting with Stalker at the end there is the oh my goodness, I just went blank. Um Hold up, I got it here on my list somewhere.
Okay.
Dang. Dragon Age.
Oh
Now with the
shit! That
Dragon
is that
Age,
year? That's not. Is that this year?
that's supposed to be this year. It's supposed to be. There's no date,
That's not coming out.
but we'll see. I mean, they did show. I think
You
you're
know
right,
the
Jess.
cycle. You know the
Oh,
cycle.
I'm sorry.
They announce the game, they give a release date, then they push that release date back 6 months, and then We get another release
We
date
get
that's
another
2
one.
weeks after that. So
Yes.
6 months and 2 weeks is generally what you can add
Yeah,
to
if we don't have release dates of games by now,
They're not coming out. They're not coming. I mean,
anything's
4
going on the
months.
table.
I give them 4 months, but I'm saying we're if we don't get these dates in the month of August, as in the games are coming out in December, then they're not gonna come out this year. And
Yeah.
then my honorable mention in all this, and the only reason I'm saying this game is I'm not a fan of the game, but I love the IP, and that's Horizon Lego. I love Aloy, I love Horizon, and that's the only reason I'm looking forward to this Lego game, because it's just another reason to jump back into the world. And I know that it's not canon. I know that it's gonna be some, happy-go-lucky bullshit,
But it's gonna
game.
have Lego
But
dinosaurs mech things. So
yes, exactly. So I'm just like, honestly, where my mind is at with gaming, I call this year a loss. I've been focusing, and shout out to you guys who've been watching my mail call videos. As you can tell, I just been focusing on the PS3 games that I've never played. As you guys know, on the PS3 era, I joined the military, so I didn't do hardly any gaming, and I used my PS3 as a Blu-ray player. So I'm going back to play a lot of those games that I've missed, and thankfully, it is games.
oh,
Sorry about that. It is games that I missed, and games that are very good and that I get to, live for the first time. Only shitty part about it is that the graphics are old, the controls kind of suck, and it's not what I'm used to on the PS5. But that's my list of games that I'm looking forward to for the rest of the year.
so we have a $10 super chat before we get to Jez. It's another one from JP Loco. Man, y'all keep this up. I'll be able to quit my job for like a day. I appreciate this, guys. This is awesome. Xbox always tries to count DLC as new releases, but said Forspoken DLC, FF16 DLC, Horizon Forbidden West DLC, and Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island DLC don't count when it's PS, just like they refuse to count PSVR 2 games. Absolutely.
There you go, JP Logo with the facts.
And so it's really funny because Jez, and I know this is going to open up a whole new can, and bedtime is what it is. But Jez, on your show today, you were talking. You did a show today, and I think you did one yesterday as well.
Yeah, they went yesterday. Yeah, I did one a day.
Because we were I say we. I treat your chat like a conversation, so like it's there. When you were mentioning the DLCs that they've given, the expansions that PlayStation has done, the add-ons to games, the remakes and remasters, and how people don't count second party, third party. You were like, any game that comes to PlayStation that doesn't go elsewhere, that's an exclusive. That's just as good as a first party deal, is kind of the thing you were saying. And then you
even
flipped it on
again
them today, and we're like, Xbox has one game that's not from their studios, and it's a second party deal, but if we're using y'all's metric, that shit doesn't count anyways.
Yeah, because like what I was saying was the whole they were saying that, oh well, Stalker 2 getting delayed, it's stacked, and that's why Avowed is going to be delayed. Which, again, like I can't believe that people are accepting that, because the Game Pass, the best value in gaming, two games releasing in Game Pass day one. We got to delay a game because it's too stacked. That's some bullshit. But yeah, what I was saying is that
it's ready though. It's ready. It's
ready. It's ready. Yeah, it's fine.
Trust
it's fine.
Guys. It's ready. It's okay.
They're just delaying it because they don't want to give too much value in Game Pass. Blow that out your ass. Like, what are you talking about? That's a new low for like delaying a game. Like, it's ready, but there's just too much to eat in Game Pass. We got to spread it out. Why? Like, well, that's a
spread
reason
the ass
for
cheeks of each person getting fucked.
The hell's that?
Subscription service. That's why.
Yeah, and now you're paying for day one, but that's too much day one. Too much day one for you. Like, get the hell out of here. No, Phil's like, nah, that's too much day one. Pull back.
With the price increase too, when they should be putting out more shit.
Dude, they got to make up for the whole year. I said, like, the year sucked. Like, what are you talking about? Phil's like, we'll never have a year like 2022. you're coming damn close to it this year. Like, goddamn, like, you have Hellblade in May. You have done nothing since May from all the studios that you own. And then now it's like, oh, there's just too much day one at the end of this year. We can't be giving out that too much day one. Because of Stalker 2, Stalker 2 is not even your first party. That's just a game that you've had in game that was going to Game Pass. Like
it's
that,
not even exclusive, is it? Like
it's
not even.
Well, it is exclusive of PC and Xbox.
Okay.
It's not going
for like 6 months, and then it goes to PlayStation.
3 months or something like that.
3 months, yeah.
But the thing is that game should have no impact on what their first party promise should be. And if people say that, let's count that. What I'm saying is, like, people go, well, Sony first party didn't do anything. It's like, yeah, but the thing is not only that it's exclusive. The fact is that it's coming to PlayStation and it may go to PC. But the fact is that there's games that were funded by PlayStation that were curated for and released in a cadence of a lineup. Grand Blue Fantasy, Final Fantasy, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, Last of Us Part 1 Remastered.
Rise of Ronin.
Rise of Ronin is another one. And just these games were curated, funded by PlayStation to bring to the platform, whether they're multi-plat or whether they're on PC or not. The thing is that they have given a lineup of games that are, quote, exclusive for their lineup, that if you had a PlayStation, you're getting these games that are built for the system and are taking advantage of it. And on top of that, they got, Conquered, Astrobot, and Say What It Is. That's their first party offerings as well. And so, like, if you don't want to count those games, like, then Stalker 2 shouldn't be counted as well. But if you look at, the thing is that Microsoft made this promise. You didn't make it. The Xbox fans didn't make it. Microsoft set the premise, and that's why I kept going back to that video in January with their developer direct saying, hey, fall for Avowed 2024. You did it again. You're doing it again. You said you want, like, we got to be cautious about that. We're not going to show games until they're ready. You gave that promise. Everything you see here will be in the next 12 months. You that fell on your face. You said games are going to come out by the summer. It got delayed. What was it? It was Starfield got delayed a whole year. So did Redfall. Got delayed a whole year out of 2022, and they became your 2023 lineup. Well, are we in this again? Because now Avowed, which was supposed to be 2024, is now going to be the 2025 game. And what happens to Compulsion's game? Is that I guess that's not coming early in the year if you're going to move this to the year. The problem is that day one is now a tier. That is a cost incentive. And
shit,
if
where's
you are
Steam
not,
World?
Steam World.
Oh, Jazz, I think we lost you for a second. Hello? Will, are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay. So I have a graphic on the screen that I've
There we
seen.
go. I don't know what happened to my Discord thing, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, it's been acting up for me too.
Yeah, it's been acting up, but yeah.
It kicked
It's
Will
just
out
so-
altogether earlier.
But it's just the whole thing is that they're setting a premise and a promise, and they're yet to deliver. And like I said about their June showcase, hey, they they had a good show, Smoke and Mirrors show. They got to deliver on it, and they are not delivering on it if this rumor is true, because they're the one that decided to set this, and they still are struggling with their own studios about this. Like, I don't understand their releases. But the whole thing is that PlayStation for the rest of this year, there's a lot of games coming out. Next year is going to be insane. But for this year, I'm really, like, from what I'm looking at, I was excited about Outlaws. I'm still hesitant because it's Ubisoft. I never go full Ubisoft, but I like the idea of just this open world, go fly into space and go into missions. I really like that, so I'm looking forward to that. Astrobot, definitely. The Dragon Ball, I'm going to get that. Black Myth Wukong did look cool. I'll have to see more of that. But my biggest hype really is, I'm just really with, was it Astrobot? And then I had the, what the hell's the name of the other one? That was going to be, another weird one that I wanted. Oh, Undisputed. That's it. Oh, that boxing game. I know it's on Steam, but I was in beta, I think, on Steam, but Undisputed looks cool, and Funko Fusion for a wacky game. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that
Funko Fusion.
that looks pretty whack. I didn't realize that game is going to have all gore and stuff with their heads getting rolled off and stuff. And I like the idea of that because it just has so many different pop genres and stuff like that. That is really going to be fun to see all that mix and matching and stuff like that. That looks pretty cool. And then Tales. What is it? The one that demo just came out. Visions of Mana.
Visions of Mana.
That's
Dude,
not
that
going to
looks
Game
awesome.
Pass. It's not going to Game Pass.
Oh, they made a mistake. Oh, and also, by the way, update Oct 2, Vin Diesel, he doesn't play that game, and he doesn't show that game either. That was another mistake by Microsoft in their own friggin' Xbox Wire. I don't know. Yeah, Oct 2 will not be playable or at Gamescom. That was a mistake.
It's not ready yet?
No, dude, Vin Diesel doesn't even play that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not ready. They actually came out and said, Microsoft, yet again, I said round 2. I did my tweet 2 days ago. I said, it's always a mistake. We're sorry. We're listening. Their PR marketing team sucks when they're talking about Mana. And then here, 2 days later, Oct 2 debuted with Vin Diesel in 2020. But since then, we have seen nothing about the game. And then all of a sudden, it showed up as a playable demo at the Gamescom booth. However, the company says they made an error. Xbox booth will have playable games from third party. However, Oct 2, they said the page says Oct 2 was originally listed as playable. This mentioned was made in error and has been removed. Thank you. Grinds board right there. There you go. Thrifty boards. Yep. So, yet again, messaging, marketing, they suck. But Phil Spencer, he could go on every friggin' show, talk about how he's choice and this and be so confident, but they are like rudimentary dumbasses when it comes to games, marketing, and getting people excited for anything that they're doing. They suck at that stuff, and it just drives me crazy because I'm like, how can a company be so incompetent? Like, I could understand if this was your first go round, but you've been doing this for over 20 years. Why are you acting like this is like your startup? Like, we're making mistakes. How do you make those mistakes?
So
you hyping up your own show.
Come down to the rabbit hole with me, because you just reminded me of something that I wanted to ask both of y'all. So you were talking a little bit today about the marketing of Xbox and the way they do their marketing and stuff, and I had to go into a house, and so I missed like a 45-minute little section. And one of the things that I had actually wrote down was a question that I was going to ask on the show tonight. Let me pull it up real quick. So, do you think Sony does their marketing for games so well that and the reasoning behind it is, sure, they want to make money, but do you think a secondary reason could be that, like, hey, we're going to put everything we can behind this game marketing-wise, so if this game fails, it's because your game sucked ass, not because we failed to market it properly? Like, take Forspoken, for example. That game didn't fail because of lack of marketing. That had a freaking section of a state of play. It was hyped up. It had its own demo. It had, like, everything was done for this game. And it still failed. It didn't reach critical success, and the studio, Luminous Productions, got shut down. Do you think that Sony looks at some of these studios and is like, hey, listen, we're going to do everything we can, because if your game fails, we know that it wasn't because we didn't market it. It wasn't because we screwed up again with a release date and put Horizon Zero Dawn right next to one of the biggest games of the year. Like, I don't know. I just had that thought because that's honestly, like management does that all the time. They give you enough leash to hang yourself. They're going to give you everything that you want, everything that you've asked for, and they're going to see what you do with it. Are you responsible with it? Is this going to be a good thing that you've done? Like, my company does it all the time. I have full freaking freedom to do whatever the heck I want. Now, if I do whatever the heck I want with my work van instead of going to these houses and stuff like that, I then have to answer for that because they have literally given me all the freedom in the world, but I have a job to do. And
Mm.
so I don't know. That's a little bit that's actually a lot of speculation. But like
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
feels like they put so much behind it. With Xbox, you can look and go, "Oh, well, you know why people don't know your games fucking exist? Because you don't know how to market them." Do you know why
I
people
Yeah.
think with
don't buy your
PlayStation's the
Go ahead.
opposite. I think it's more of that they market enough because I think they got it down to a science of how much to market. I mean, even sometimes I feel like they're over marketing a little bit too much, which I
Oh
think
yeah.
is probably the secondary problem they have in the marketing standpoint, where it's
Oh,
either it's
Deathloop.
too
Remember
much,
Deathloop? Oh
like
my god.
Deathloop. But yeah, I don't think that they at the end of the day, is the sole responsibility falls on the game, whether the PlayStation marketed enough or not, because that's who makes the
The
money,
game.
you
Yeah, the
know.
game doesn't speak
So
for itself.
yeah, the game will speak, and you know what this really affects are the indie games because some of these games are complete bangers and they're so damn good, but because they're so small budget wise that not a lot of people hear about them. No matter how good the game is, no matter how good the word of mouth is, because people will look at an indie game and automatically be turned off because it is an indie game. So you know it's very unfortunate for them in the AAA space. I especially with PlayStation, I don't think we see a lot of that, especially with the state of plays that they do and stuff like that, and in the digital era that we live in. I mean, they'll have GameStop just market the shit, you know, at their stores, posters, you know, just to raise curiosity, and that's all you really could do with marketing is to kind of have you plant that seed in your head, like, oh, that game looks pretty cool, let me check it out. But I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the game itself, and PlayStation's fault, I guess, would be either over marketing or not marketing enough with the smaller games.
One
Well,
thing that I think that they don't like. One of the things is like I don't think they I what I feel like is if you show us the gameplay and you have a breakdown and do that stuff and they have the like I think Will's right, like they have this kind of, especially with their first party games, like the way of roll it out, like we'll do state of play, we'll show this, we'll do this. Then now they have controllers for their games, like even the rollout for Astrobot. If you just look at Astrobot by itself, people have been playing it hands on. Like that's the craziest thing. Sony wasn't a Games Fest or whatever the hell that Smuggling Grapes Summer Showcase. Sony didn't have. They had their state of play, and that was about it. But Microsoft had the whole big, you know, this fan fest, flying people out, all this stuff, and none of them got to play any of their first party games that were there. Nobody touched Avowed, nobody did this stuff. But you hear people coming back from Summer Games Fest, and people are like, oh, I played. You know, here's an article on hands-on, early hands-on on Astrobot, and you got more. Even Digital Foundry had Astrobot, and they were talking about it. They were talking about it. Eurogamer was doing it. The thing is that if you give enough information, I feel like it shows confidence. Like if you are the chef and you come out and describe your plate and show it with pride and things like that, there's a level of if I have confidence in my product, then you should know that, you know, I've done this with pride, and now you may be, you know, you'll agree. Maybe you don't like it, but the thing is that I've shown you that, hey, I have confidence in this, and that's where I find that Microsoft does a lot of smoke and mirrors. They tell you the game is one thing and it is another. They hide things like, you know, all, like I was saying on my show about Starfield, like, you know, how they hid all those loading screens, and that was such a shock to people. Like, how the hell is loading screen just shock? If they really just, if they would have just shown the game, Todd Howard sit down, play the game for 5 minutes, walk through it without slices and cuts and people in the hallways and smiling in the lunch rooms and grabbing ass in the hall, like at the cafeteria. We don't need to see all that bullshit. Cartwheels in the hall. Just sit down, talk through the game, and just show it. And we see the load screens.
About to say,
Instead,
I don't want to see why your
hit
place
it.
of business is better than mine and why your job is
Like,
better than mine. Let me play your game that makes me forget about my job.
It's like one of those cheese, dude. It's like one of those cheesy friggin' recruitment videos that they make you watch. Like, why do I want to work at Initech? Look at me. Like, it's the stupidest shit. Like, oh, look, your developers are so happy. Well, that's good. The product sucks, but I'm glad they have lunch every goddamn day. Lunch and brunch. Like, the thing is
and
that
one beer a day.
show, and they're on rooftops eating lunch again. I'm like, where the hell's the game? And it's just
Too busy eating.
they're showing the wrong things, and they do not get behind their games. And I don't know if Game Pass is the culprit of this, that, hey, it's just going into a service, let them figure it out and explore. And I have always said this. I'm like, it is a strategy, I think. Keep them in the dark. You know, treat them like, there's a line from The Departed. You know, Microsoft treats their gamers like mushrooms. Keep them in the dark and feed them shit. That's what they're doing. Keeping them in the dark and feeding them shit. And hopefully they'll go into Game Pass and be curious about it. But if they show you everything you want, they're not selling your product. Whereas Sony is really taking their games and selling, hey, this is a $70 product. It's going to need that kind of campaign behind it because we're asking this kind of money from people, this investment. Whereas Game Pass, you keep them in the dark, they'll be just clicking around, and they'll be actually more willing to just get it in a Game Pass subscription because they're uncertain about the game. That uncertainty benefits the subscription because you're not willing to pay full price for the game. You want to check it out because you're uncertain about it. So I don't know if that's a Microsoft strategy, but it seems that's what they do. Incomplete, keep them in the dark.
You've got to be shitting me. Speaking of subscriptions, this came in a very timely manner.
More news. What's up?
No, not more news. I thought I canceled my EA Play, and they just got another $6 out of me.
There you go.
They literally just sent me the fucking text that said,
"Congratulations, thank you for your renewal."
I won. I got 60 points for my PlayStation Stars.
There you go. There you go.
Bitch.
But it's just like, I think that, I don't think Sony does it to kind of like, hide the stuff. But I do think that's, they do they enter entertainment business. They know how to market games and just show the games. And I feel a lot of times, even with Concord, like I'm looking at it right now, it said 58 of my friends pre-ordered this game. They gave a beta 2 weeks in a row. They did 2 betas. They gave you enough to decide on your own that there's, if you're going to do it or not, if you want the game or not. And I feel like that's all you can ask for as a consumer, is that give me enough information, be as transparent as possible for your product so that I can make an educated consumer investment if I'm interested or not, or if I want to wait for sale, if I don't want to get it now. But if you hide your game, you're not giving me the confidence that I'm going to run out there and pre-order it. Like, what have they done for Avowed that you're running out and pre-ordering the thing? They don't even have a release date for the game. Like, how do you pre-order a game that doesn't have a release date? What are you pre-ordering for, indefinitely? You're just willing to give up your money? Like, everybody, just give me $60. We'll get it to you whenever. Like, this whole pre-order shit. You usually pre-order when you have a date. There's no date. So how do you pre-order? And then if you don't pre-order, how do you have a marketing campaign for a game that doesn't have a release date? That's why we're already now in August or whatever. We're in August. We got Indiana Jones. When's the marketing campaign? We saw this with Hellblade 2. People were tweeting Greenberg, where's the marketing for Hellblade 2? It comes out in a few weeks. He goes, and then he did a tweet. It's like, well, we got people taking vacation photos in the Netherlands. We got people shitting on rocks over there, washing their ass on some rocks. We got some people. We got a TV ad that's going to be rolling out soon. Check the ad on Hulu. Like you got to come out and list this shit to talk about your ad campaign. After people asking you where it is, people shouldn't be asking you where it is. They should be like, I can't wait to play Hellblade 2 because I've seen it all over the place.
Josh just said Microsoft doesn't have the budget to market.
Yeah, exactly. They're poor.
We don't have the resources at our disposal.
But it's just
like
ridiculous.
The other guys.
Yes, you see Senua's face plastered on a bus? No.
What about, okay, so yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole of Xbox marketing. Dear God, that takes me through the past 18
Thrifty, how do you market something that doesn't have a date? Like, how do you market something that doesn't have a date?
And you do it the way that they have been, right? So here's another thing that really baffles me, and Will, you talk about it all the freaking time. It's how in the world Bungie is in the red. Herman Holst goes in there and says, "Hey, we'll take them. They're good. Sony, you got to deal with the rest of that shit." And Sony's like, "Cool, we'll take them. They're good. We can use them somewhere." Yeah, sorry, can't use the rest of y'all. And yeah, some of y'all executives, yeah, y'all are gone. Bye. That was after, what, 2 years now of ownership? Has it been 2 full years of ownership?
About that,
It's
yeah.
been almost 2 years of ownership. Okay, Phil Spencer has been blowing Microsoft's money and showing not a damn thing in return for it for over a decade.
Dude, I
And
think Xbox is a money laundering scheme, honestly, at this point.
either that or he does a better job on Satya than Monica did on Bill. That's all I'm saying.
Sheesh.
Oh
That's all
shit.
I'm saying. Like,
But even
Oh
then, there's a
shit.
clarity that happens after that, you know? Like, where's Satya's clarity?
Oh shit. Oh
Well,
man, you're saying Phil's making stutter and Satya stutter.
so the clarity came. Pause.
Phil, suck that.
That's going to be a grinds bite, I guarantee. So the clarity came when Tim Stewart and Satya went on their tour last year and basically said, "Hey guys, games are going to go everywhere. You're welcome." Like,
True.
we need something that the other people don't have. Money.
Well, did you
and
see what some of these
Frosted
YouTubers
glass.
are saying? They're saying that because Starfield hasn't been announced for PlayStation yet, that it's not coming. And I'm just like, you guys are still putting your hope in this fucking shit. Like, you for real right now? Like, we just got all these games and you're kind of in and out already?
Dude, I was even saying they don't even have a release date for the Starfield shit in space.
Exactly. They don't even have that.
I thought
The
that was
year
coming out
I-
this year.
No, it
It's it is, but there's
supposed
no
to, but-
release date. And what I was saying is that September, and what you probably missed that part of the show, but I was saying like September 9th is the year anniversary of Starfield, and they don't have it at the show at all. Like it's not the DLC it's a trailer, it's a video trailer.
But Jess, they gave us 60 frames,
That's
okay?
what I was
That
just
should
gonna
be
say.
enough.
Oh shit.
They reversed their creative design decision.
Yep.
And decided that
It's
Jesus.
it is crazy, and everybody's like, "Oh, they're so stacked," and it's like, "Oh, because Call of Duty's coming to Game Pass." Like, dude, Call of Duty was coming. They knew Call of Duty's release
Either
date when they
way.
bought Activision, dude. Like, they are the ones that they announced these games in January with released with years on them. How are we now in the last the last half of the year, and they don't have friggin' release dates for these games, and now and nobody's playing them.
Everybody knows Call of Duty comes out in October. Like, that's not
Exactly.
even a secret. It's like,
So, like, what do you mean they're stacked? Like I said, it's too much day one. Like, that's bullshit.
no.
It's not like you're dropping a game every quarter like you promised. You missed the first quarter. That was the first lie. People should have known in March. Like, Microsoft, where's your first party game? Some people are like, oh, it's the games on PlayStation. I'm like, what?
So
They said that they were going to have a first party release or any size. He said it last year when he was sitting with Jeff Grubb, Gaming's Mankind, when he was sitting there, and he said, I got. He goes, I could see it. I could see it. Every month now, we're going to have, every quarter, we're going to have some sort of game. He committed it to it last year, and he starts this year with nothing in the first quarter. Hellblade 2, nothing in the third quarter, and now fourth quarter is so stacked we gotta have spread shit out. Get the hell out of here. I hope
Hellblade
that
was
rumor.
so trash,
So-
dude.
Yo,
Nelson
dude, they want to
Gaming
forget that
Culture.
shit came out.
Nelson Gaming Culture said, I don't know how Xbox financials are even legal. They give service revenue, service plus or minus, and console increase or decrease. Where are the other 20 pages? What the fuck? No operating expenses, no software information.
Bro,
Dude, there's
money laundering.
nothing.
They should have just
Yeah,
opened laundromats instead of this bullshit.
And you know what else
It'd
is
been
something
more
that's
profitable.
really telling? Dude, another thing that's really telling too, that when they said that the financial people in the after show, or the after kind of thing, where Satya and Amy in the Hood said her thing, basically they said about they were asking about Xbox. They typically don't ask about Xbox. The investors don't ask, but they asked about it. So that means that there are eyeballs now because they spent $80 billion on the health of the Xbox business, because they usually don't ask Satya in the after financials about Xbox at all, and he just makes a statement, and they did this time. And the fact that, and I'm telling you, once you spend $80 billion, those investors want to know, when are we getting our money back? What are we seeing from that investment? That's why when they talk about 58% as part of Activision, that is them letting their investors know, like, oh yeah, well, our growth is because of the money we spent last year, so we're getting that back. that's the reason why they're breaking that down, because they need to know, like, well, you spent so much money. What is the results of it? But they asked about Xbox in that after show and
They're
the
so
Friday after
fucked.
thing, dude. If they've got those guys looking at Xbox, the first thing they're gonna be
Oh
like,
yeah.
that hardware needs to go. And that's what I'm saying. That next Xbox is not going to be Xbox hardware. It is going to be a device, some sort of under
It's
devices it's going to go under,
it's
because they got to
yeah.
squash that shit.
It is
They
literally
got
going to be a. So
a
here's
Windows
the thing.
device.
Will, you mentioned it earlier. X or PlayStation was too late to the game. They tried to copy the strategy of live service and they got to it too late. Xbox, that is normally an Xbox move of trying to copy something and getting too late to the party.
Yes, that is true. Yep.
And so what they're doing right now is they're trying to copy two things that have been successful this year. One, the PlayStation Portal, and two, not this year alone, and two, the Switch. They're trying to go handheld. So I'm gonna
In the
stick
year
with.
the Switch is coming out, Switch 2 is coming
Oh,
out. Dude, they
jeez.
are messed
Dude,
up,
they're gonna
dude.
get fucking roasted, dude. It's going
Yo,
to be
of all
bad.
years, man, next year they're going to plan to release an Xbox device portable. Are they drunk?
And like, why? And so that's why I still think that the prototype that we saw in June or July last year, I think that's the one that's going to be coming out. It's going to be a link up to your TV. It's going to be a portal for their cloud. That's all it really is, and I think they
Uh,
will sell a
Still not going to
second.
have the games.
No, but I
No.
think they are going to sell a secondary device like a portal design where it can link into that thing and you're in right away and blah blah. I think the Xbox trash can that we all made fun of last year, I think that is actually real. Like I think that that's what they're going to be doing. It'll be a little 5-inch by like 3-inch cylinder.
Dude, they got to stop with the hardware.
They
They got
they
to stop with the
they
hardware.
gotta stop with a lot of shit, and that's why I just put Xbox is because they don't know what they're gonna do with Xbox. They're coming out and saying it's all about Game Pass. Game Pass is growing. That's why we're having to delay games is because of Game Pass and all this other and like it they don't mention Xbox anymore. Xbox is nothing more than a logo, and that's it.
Yeah,
So
it's
Xbox
nothing.
is, like Will said earlier, Xbox is fucked. Xbox is dead, and Xbox now is nothing more than a logo. That's it, guys. That's it.
It is.
And we could beat this dead horse for the rest of the night. We could do it until 2 a.m. in the morning my time, and it still end up with the same thing.
But
Microsoft.
isn't it crazy with doing this again? Like, it's just every year. It's nothing that just can't they just come out with a year that they just have just hits and they just kind of hit what they promised on and it's quality and everybody just
Oh,
kind of
just
moves
one
on.
hit. It was
Right?
one.
Every friggin' thing they're doing, it's a mess. We heard you. We like you go back. Like, why did even Cerebon even say in February? What benefit did it have? Oh, we're working on the next thing. Like
Yes,
what?
even a broken
For
clock is
who?
right twice a day.
They're
Like
never
even in their
right.
broken state, they're not right. Like they have to be self-sabotage. There just has to be. I can't. There's no
Right?
other
You can't
logical
imagine that
explanation.
ignorant. You can't imagine that they're that ignorant
Well,
that they're gonna sit here
so
and do
for
this.
months we've gone back and forth on either they're really that dumb or it's self-sabotage. And the further we get into this summer, the more it has to be self-sabotage. They are
Yeah.
trying to kill
Well, they
Xbox.
say no console required in their ads.
Right.
So
And with that, though, I am going to segue into killing this stream. I need to go ahead and get off and get to bed. It has been a wonderful night. Jez, we actually have a lot of folks in here, names that I've never seen before. And so, where can people find you?
you can find me over at the Gaming Grindhouse, Jez7780 on YouTube. I have a show on Monday nights at 8 o'clock, and then podcast throughout the week. Also, home of the Gaming Grindhouse Records, where you get awesome songs about stuff that's going on in the gaming industry. A lot of fun.
And they are fantastic. The intro song today literally got me hyped for my own show tonight. Like I was in my van and I heard that thing hit and I was like, oh, it's gonna be on. This is gonna be great. Will, what about you, man? Where can folks find you? You got a lot of stuff you're trying to do right now, so plug everything.
Yeah, you can find me at Will777JP on Twitter, on X, and Will777JP on YouTube. I am been going. Please check out my mail call videos. It's just me unboxing games that I've been buying, especially for the PS3, Xbox 360. I do have some videos coming soon, going over my video game collection. Some of you guys have been asking to see it. Well, your opportunity is coming up to see it soon.
That's gonna be awesome, guys. I wasn't kidding about there being a lot of new names in here, people I haven't seen in here before. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Hit that like button on the way out. Subscribe if you liked what you heard. Like some of the interactions in the chat. And guys, with that, we are going to get out of here. And I know I mentioned buying a few games and stuff like that, but guys, don't get it twisted. I shop sales all the time. I have a list of games that I'm looking for on sale. And so with that, guys,